need to start working on some homework. So what I'm going to be working in today is something called Scratch. It's a game and animation creation site online, and is what I will be creating my video game assignment in for my game design course. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Mel, see if we can get her connected in here, and hopefully get to start talking about pseudocode, and y'all can watch me fumble around with what's the word? Pixel art. I do have to kind of take a minute. Hold up, that's gonna be, yeah, let's bring that over here. I do have to take a minute because I think my dad just showed up here with my drink. So, beer. Okay guys, I am back. Sorry about that. So yeah, let me go ahead and pull in Mel, we can connect, and we're gonna go through Scratch. This is something a little different from what I normally do, but with quarantine going on, I don't know, Scratch might be something really fun for y'all to check out. And, you know, maybe just getting a little bit of a look around will help. Let's see if I can get Mel to pick up. Hey, you here?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yep. So what I was just saying is this is actually going to be a look at Scratch. I know you're kind of familiar with it. I am re-familiarizing myself with it. But it's also very much a bid to get myself to actually do homework.
Very, very good, Rena.
All right, guys. So, this is, again, 6 fan arts challenge. You know, I've thought about it. Haven't actually taken that plunge yet, but I've thought about it. My only drawback is, and it's such a silly drawback because I tell you guys to ignore this all the time, is I feel a little hindered by my art style and a little hindered by like I have a really hard time drawing outside characters in my art style. I always feel like I have to emulate whatever art style they're originally from, which is silly. It really is. I really so short answer is I have thought about it. I just haven't done it yet. Long answer is a bunch of fumbling around, giving myself excuses as to why I haven't done it yet.
I was getting confused there for a second. I was like, you are really good at emulating other people's art styles. What? She's like, oh, you're supposed to draw the characters like how you would.
So, first thing we're going to do here, we're going to rename this to the title of my game. I don't know if y'all can see that or not.
Oh my god, this is so weird. Oh god.
How long has it been since you've been on Scratch?
I used Scratch in 7th grade.
Oh my god, that's even longer ago than the last time I was on here. I was at least on here during like my sophomore or junior year of high school.
Oh my god, that was 8 years ago when the Hunger Games came out.
Oh my god. Aw, thank you, Bumblebee. That's really sweet. So, I don't know. I'm hoping that because I like explaining things, that explaining this will help me actually get off of my butt and, do the thing. This is for a grade. I've been avoiding doing this entire final project for 2 weeks now. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm excited to do it.
I am excited to do it, but it's intimidating to do because you know me. I don't want to just do 2 or 3 levels. I want to make a whole, Zelda style game.
So you do this by not doing anything for 2 weeks.
Exactly. Now you're getting it. Why is that thing? I want to trash it.
You know why people say that E.T. for the Atari's 2600 is the worst game or like why it was the worst game of all time?
Why?
Because the developer behind it only had 6 weeks.
Sweet baby Jesus. Damn.
And how many weeks do you have to get this done, Rena?
I have 3, but it's okay. It's okay because that developer had to use actual real code, right? All right. I only have to use pseudocode and Scratch. Like this, if I actually put in the work, and I'm sure that developer had stuff like a social life and IRL friends. All of my friends are online right now. I can sit here and talk to you while I'm working.
Fair enough.
Right? So, what I have open here is the painter part of Scratch. This is where, ideally, we would be sitting here, what's it called? We would be creating our level. And I watched 5 seconds of a walkthrough and did some of the tutorial stuff that my professor sent me. So what I'm going to be attempting to do is, that's just not working, is it? We're going to have to do this with the mouse. What I'm going to be attempting to do, why aren't you letting me do the thing? I wanna fill, is I will be trying to create a whole level backdrop. I'm going back and forth between all of these. And eventually what this will turn into is... What this will turn into is technically level 1. I'll be putting in a tutorial level eventually, but this is going to be level 1, which in game is supposed to actually be Jamonikai. But, you know, copyright. I'm actually really excited to do this game because the beauty of it being on Scratch is ideally I would be able to post the finished game as a link to Tumblr and to Instagram and such, and be able to share, be able to share this game with people who actually will get the references and the little MacGuffins and everything, instead of my class, who I think might be low-key convinced that I'm like effing crazy.
A what?
My class might be convinced that I'm effing crazy because they're all like, you know,
Keep cutting out. I can't hear what you say.
oh, that sucks. That might be crappy internet. I think my phone's on its own thing. Let me see. Oh, sucks.
It sucks.
Yes. Okay, here we are. I think I'm back. Now, if YouTube would just catch up with that.
Loading the YouTube page, maybe.
Come on. Okay.
Does it look on your end?
I think I'm back. Tech is so much fun, and I cannot believe that I spent so much of my time doing this. So this is going to be really interesting because I actually don't have too much of a plan for how the levels are supposed to look. Very, very vague idea, but it's okay. And honestly, part of why I'm having you guys watch me do this is kind of a get your butt in gear, Rena, for the love of God. And what I'm going to be doing today is just planning out basic level. I plan to go back in and redraw over this stuff and make a much prettier looking level. But the idea behind this is to have just something to work with. But we're going to see. We're going to see. It's going to be great. Now I wonder if maybe it will work. That grabbed something. Not what I wanted it to do. Just gonna keep grabbing. Okay. There we go. So like I said, this is supposed to be Jamonikai. We're gonna get things basically laid out. What the frick? We're gonna get things basically laid out, and then hopefully we're gonna get to actually go in to do some code, and I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about.
Hey, you're doing great, Rena.
Thanks. So all I'm gonna do is do the basic layout. I want this to kind of be a, we're going into Jamonikai. We're gonna show up and see all of this, and there's gonna be some little houses and things like that. And we're just gonna lay them out. And hopefully what I want is for this to have like some interesting things going on here. Because this is gonna be level 1. I want there to be some stuff that you can easily find. I want it to be kind of a, here's how you use XYZ type things. And where you see the first Easter egg character of the game, a guy named Darren, because, hey, this actually does take place in the future. Ooh.
I'm sorry, I'm getting a puppy cow straight and know what's going on.
I am just laying out the level, but Rifted just, you should take a look at the comments because Rifted...
I just looked at it. Thanks, Rifted. I sincerely hope that's what I'm doing. I realized I was supposed to register for my one class I have left.
Oh,
2 days
heck.
ago.
I have to register for mine. I was wrong. It's not a June semester course. It's a July semester course.
Oh,
Which, you know, whatever. I get a
mine's
break.
May.
Oh, rest in fucking pieces.
No, are you kidding me? That means I get it done right away.
You know what? That's fair.
Oh, I forgot. Okay, so, from, I think, so the class, yeah, because the class is from, course, damn it. The May, it would have been May if I was taking World War One, but I already took World War One.
Oh no, what are you taking then? World War II?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That I was telling you about, where I was like, I should have taken it last summer, god damn it. It'd just be done.
It's okay, it's okay. We're gonna get through this. Just you wait.
It just sucks because, like, all the online courses have a delivery fee.
Ugh, that's dumb.
On top of, like, the normal tuition fee I'm gonna have to pay to take this 2-week course, because it's literally 2 weeks, June 3rd to the 17th.
I don't know how you're gonna survive taking a 2-week course whenever I can barely survive taking the, like, 4-week mini-mester courses in the summer.
I did it last summer.
Girl.
Although this time I'm gonna actually try to get an A. Last summer I got a B.
You're a machine.
Because I totally half-assed the paper. Oh my god, I gotta tell you about what happened with the paper. So
What
I
happened
thought
with the
was due
paper?
one day, and I completely procrastinated on it.
Right.
So I turn it in at what I think is the last possible second.
Right.
And then the professor grades it, and I get a C on it, and I'm like, no! And he sends an email out to everybody else who's like, take your time with your paper. And I'm like, wait.
It's not due?
It's not due?
Girl.
So I was like, hey, what?
Girl.
No, but here's the best part. So I email him again, and I'm like, hey, I thought it was due, like, yesterday. Could I have another go at it? And my professor's like, sure, here's the marked up version of your paper, go nuts. And I was like, oh my god.
You got the nicest professor known to man. I want you to know that.
Everybody hates him.
I hope you don't, because he saved your ass.
Totally saved my ass.
That's
No, I love him.
honestly
He was
fantastic.
the only reason I took that course. Like, everybody else, oh my god, everybody always complains about his classes because, like, he doesn't really have PowerPoints, he just sort of talks at you. You're supposed to take notes.
But those, in my opinion, those are the best ones because it, like, you know, sink or swim by your own merits type thing. And I love when a professor's just lecture. Because then you can just be like, yes. I
Then you
too
have
think
to pay
that.
attention.
See, but I pay attention best whenever I'm just being talked at and I can sit there drawing. Some of my best drawings have happened because I was in a professor's course that he just refused to do anything but talk. What?
Was I typing that loudly?
No, I'm confused by Rifted's comment. Like, everyone can see the comments, right?
All of this together.
Oh my god. You know, I'm not even a High School Musical person. Like, I've gotten past the point of, you know, hating it for the sake of hating it. But I was never a High School Musical person.
Movie was my favorite movie for a very, very long time. And everybody calls it the crappiest one, and I'm just sitting here like, I know, like, half the songs still.
Oh my gosh. No, what Disney movies were my movies? Aside from Nightmare Before Christmas, because, you know, aesthetic.
No. If we're doing this, you gotta pick Disney Channel movies.
Disney Channel movies.
What High School Musical was. Like, the third one might have been in theaters, but they were Disney Channel movies.
Gosh, what are my Disney Channel movies that, like, I was always down to watch? Oh, shit, really? I didn't even know that. That's cool. Was I a Disney Channel movie watcher was the question. You know what? Sky High. Sky High's my jam.
I think that was in theaters.
I really doubt that it was. I'd be so surprised.
I think it totally was.
Damn it. I also just got like a mouthful of sugar. Fuck.
No, I don't blame you for thinking that it wasn't in theaters, because it definitely feels like something you'd watch on, TV. But yeah. That movie was in theaters.
Okay, so I've got a basic layout of a level now. We're gonna rename this one Jamonikai because we're extra like that.
Oh yeah, do it.
There we go. So this is Jamonikai. And we're going to take a little bit of a look at the pseudocode in Scratch. So the cool thing about Scratch is that it's all pseudocode. What that means is instead of typing in, HTML code or Java or C# or whatever it is that you use these little buttons that are made of pseudocode, which pseudocode, if I remember right from class, is like Boolean logic and terms and stuff like that. And it's the middleman between, normal person thought and computer ones and zeros. It's kind of like there's the way human brains think, there's pseudocode, there's straight up code, and then there's the ones and zeros of binary code. That the name always escapes me. So what we're going to do for this, instead of having I kind of cheated a little bit, not gonna lie. I think I did this wrong, but it works fine for messing around with code, and then I'll copy and paste what I want to later.
I remember the puzzle pieces, they still do that.
Oh yeah, no, it's fantastic because it makes it so much easier to understand. So what these little things are, the yellow ones are called events. So when something happens. In Scratch, if you press the green flag, that is usually the start button that tells you when this stuff is supposed to happen and tells the game's code, okay, go. So a lot of times whenever you have start stuff that you want to constantly be going on in the background, you start with when green flag is clicked. Now, I know you guys can't see it real well, but in my window over here, our sprite is in a weird wonky position. So what we want is for it to go to x0, y0. It works on a graph format with coordinates. So whenever the flag starts, we want it to go to set x to and set y to. We want to set x to 0, set y to 0. So if we come over here and click the flag, yay, it's in place now. Woohoo! Yay! And then what we're going to come over here and do is we're actually going to go back to our costumes, and I'm going to copy all of the buildings as they are, and I will paste them onto a different sprite because now I've realized that, hey, they shouldn't be touched. We're going to copy that, and then we're going to delete them off of there. We're going to make a new sprite. Didn't mean to do that. Mouse is a little touchy. And then we're going to paste them. Please just paste in place. Perfect. We're going to call this town layout. Woohoo! So then we got Jamonikai, we have town layout. We're gonna come over here and see our code is gone. That's because I've selected a different sprite. I have town layout right now. we are also going to tell it to, when the flag starts, we're going to tell it to go to x equals 0, y equals 0. There we go. We're going to come back over here, click the flag. Boom! Works out perfectly, and it doesn't look completely off track. Yay! So now we're going to do something fun. I'm going to do a very, very basic little square sprite because, well, I'm not really feeling very, very super invested today. Is the right term. And we're just going to make our little green sprite here. We're going to make it bright green so it doesn't blend in with our background. And we're going to make this player simply for the sake of showing how this code's going to work. And we're going to see how much of this that I can remember.
You got this, girl.
Thanks. So we've got our player sprite. It's going to be very simple. And unfortunately, player sprite is going to be a sprite with a whole crap ton of code. And this is very much going to be just as much my learning as it is my showing you guys how this works. Because again, a lot of this is just playing around, figuring out what's going on. And who knows, maybe I can find a tutorial on how to actually make this zoom in so that I can add more details. But for the most part, what I'm wanting to do is make something that I can give to my professor and be like, hey, look, I know how to code. And then over the summer, work on this and make this into more of a game. So
Wait, you're going to work on it even after it's not due anymore?
Yeah, because what's due is a working basic game, like a demo reel. And what I want to be able to show you guys and to give to you guys is more of a finished product type thing. And like I know that you couldn't get Portal to work earlier, but like that's the crazy thing. Some madman made a Portal game on Scratch.
And you want to figure that out?
Yeah, like, here's the thing. Let's see if I can pull this up on here. So somebody actually made a Portal game on Scratch. Colcadome, wherever you are, I salute you and your efforts. Like, this took ages to make. God, I hope so. Let's see. I can't play this with just my left hand and my keyboard's in a weird spot. We're gonna... Is there a mute button for this? Probably not. I don't think there's a mute button for this. I really wish there were. But it is super, super freaking crazy. Somebody actually made a functioning Portal game on Scratch. And I've played it. The portals work. It works the same way as you know, actual Portal. And I'm just impressed. Like, I salute you. Good sir. And this is the kind of stuff that makes Scratch feel intimidating. You can actually look inside and see what all they did. And oh, God bless this person. They're organized. Some of these are not organized. But this person actually looks organized. And you can see kind of over here on the right hand side some of the sprites and everything, but like you can see the code that they did for every single thing. And so you can go over here and you can see, oh well, here's our blue Portal sprite. What all did they do? And you can see all the code that they went through. Here's the thing though, my brain doesn't necessarily like thinking in code terms. I'm a much more visual person than I am a word person or logic person. So that can make things a little hard to do. That's okay. We're going to go back to our little sprite. We're going to try coding him out, and we're going to want to make him walk around and not walk into our buildings. That's what we want to do. So let's see, events. When this is clicked, what we're going to do is we're going to do a forever loop, which means no matter what, as long as the game is still running, our little sprite's still going to do these things. Unfortunately,
Sorry, am I too loud?
no, you're good. Unfortunately, I do not have the time to make any type of enemies within this game. It's going to be very much an exploration / puzzle game, but I think it'll still be fun. Simply because, I mean, I think Ninjago fans are very much explorers and collectors. We're not exactly watching this for the stellar fight scenes or anything. We're watching this because we like the lore, we like the... we like all the nods and everything.
Awesome.
Don't get me wrong, I love the fight scenes as much as the next gal. But I don't think, it's not like Avatar The Last Airbender where it's like, and we studied each of these different studies of martial arts and matched them up to each one.
Martial arts with Lego.
I mean, they sure do try. I mean, we've all seen
They really do try.
Lloyd Parkour Garmadon flipping all over the damn place.
Oh my god. Like, Reina, this is kind of connected, but I still cannot get over the fact that it was on purpose. That them being Lego was incidental.
It's some crazy stuff.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, you point that out to yourself. It's like, these guys don't really need to be Lego. And then one of the production staff is just like, yeah, no, that was the point.
But honestly, like, clearly it's paid off. I feel like that made a good, what's the word? I feel it made a good show.
Yeah, totally. If it would have relied on the whole Lego aspect, then I think it would have, like, alienated people who weren't already into Legos.
Yeah. Yeah, it had to be Lego because that's what its whole purpose was. But
because you have to look like the toy.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to pull up, because I've completely forgotten everything that I've learned, one of the things that I went through as a tutorial with my professor, and it was just a quick how to do
Sorry, I didn't do try to gasp. It's just this is what I was doing last year.
I mean, we did a fun platformer tutorial, and some of the code can definitely be switched over to the top-down game that I'm trying to create. So we're going to look at our hero's code. So you can see all of this. Let's see. One of the things that I forgot. Whenever the flag is clicked, we want our little player character to go to a specific spot. One of the cool things with Scratch is you can click and drag things on your little map. I want our little player character to start out down here. I want them to have to actually, explore the damn level before they get to this building over here in the top right that y'all can't actually see. I'm so good at planning.
You're amazing at it.
Thanks, hon. So one of the cool things about Scratch is you can click and drag stuff, and it will tell you on your information about your sprite where the frick you dragged it, which is great. Love that. So what I want whenever the flag is clicked and the level starts, I want it to go to x equals -48, y equals -163, which coincidentally is where our little sprite is. God, I love that feature that it just automatically goes to that point. Then we're going to put our forever loop on there. And, I know it feels pretty self-explanatory, but again, a forever loop means that whatever I put inside this code is just going to continuously cycle through. We're going to go ahead and close this portal thing because as cool as it is, not what we're looking at right now. Also, I'm glad you know Scratch to a degree and are familiar with what I'm saying, because this is so much more fun to look at with another person.
Well, no, like legit, like the like where you've got all of this code, like in between the brackets of like the one, you know, where you just keep like it's bringing back so many memories.
Well, and just it's so much fun to do. Like this is definitely something that, you know, if you're sitting here bored on an afternoon or whatever, go make a game. You can do animations on here. Like, holy crap. They have tutorials.
Like you're making a game. My job was to, or my project was to make like 3 characters talk to each other about a Bible verse.
Right. Canadian school. Catholic school. I am an educated young lady.
I'm not that close to the border, God.
You might as well be a Yankee compared to me. Let's see. So, what we're going to do, what I've been doing while we were joking around and everything, is I'm putting in if-then code statements. You may recognize if-then statements from your English courses. What these do is they sense things if to fulfill that if statement. So it's constantly checking, those are the wrong things. It's constantly checking, is the down arrow being pressed right now? Is the up arrow being pressed right now? And when that is fulfilled, when it senses, yes, the down arrow is being pressed, then what we're going to have it do is we're going to change Y, because we're moving up and down. And if the down arrow is being pressed, then we're going to change Y by -4. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go double check and make sure that I did that code right. Yes, it is. Yay. So the great thing about this particular version, about the top-down games, is I don't have to worry about gravity. Gravity is a pain in the neck, whether you're in the digital world or whether you're not. And if you guys want, I can take a look over here. If not touching platforms, which is my green platforms over here in the right corner, then my player is supposed to change Y by -3 constantly until it falls. And that's how we did gravity. Not as much of a pain in the neck as I remember it being. Past me was really dumb.
Look, it's called trial and error.
It 100% is. That is the big thing with Scratch, is it's 100% trial and error. You can test things over here. So right now I don't have anything keyed into the left or right arrows. But if I press my little flag and I push my up and down arrows, oh snap, they actually move. He moves. I love him. We're gonna hit that again. And if the right arrow is pressed, we're gonna say that it goes change X by 4. Left arrow, change X by -4. And again, we're gonna come over here and test this. Oh, did you look at that? He can actually move. Woohoo! Moving all over the damn place. And then again, press stop, go. Oh, he goes back to the start. Yay! So we've got our direction going, which is great. We want our character to be able to move, which is why we set it to continuously loop forever. Then we're going to come over here. We're going to double check over here. How did we get it to where it's... We celebrate milestones in this house. Now I'm trying to remember how on earth
Moves. He actually moves. It's alive.
trying to remember how on earth I made it to where like you can't or you stop moving whenever you hit the town or hit the buildings. Because now I'm realizing that that's the point of gravity in this game.
Oh, so you are going to have to program gravity then?
I'm not going to have to program gravity. What I need to do is figure out a way so that whenever it hits a building, it doesn't go through the building.
This is reminding me.
Some bitch.
I need to stop getting off topic. It's just, did you ever play DS?
I had a DSi as a kid, heavy into Pokemon.
Oh, good. Then you'll know. Then this will be even better. There was this thing you could buy for DSIs and DSs called a DS Action Replay, specifically not licensed by Nintendo, where you'd have to plug your game into it first. Like it was. Oh my god! How do you explain it?
No, I remember the action replays. My dad used to get. I think he had one because he's high key one of those gotta have a living Pokedex people.
One of the cheats you could do with it with Pokemon was walking through the endless forest, so you could go through trees.
What we're gonna do?
And so I was just thinking of that with your game, where it's like, oh man, you're trying to not let people do that.
Yeah, no. What I'm gonna try and see is if touching the thing, then stop. And I'm gonna see if it gets stuck. Because that's what I don't want to have happen, is to find something that works and it be like, oh, can't move anymore.
You're gonna test it once you get the other stuff ready then?
Well, I mean, I have the basic stuff to be able to test that. I wonder if we're going to tell it to move 0 steps. And we're going to see if that does anything. Nope, I can still go right through it. Oh, this is going to be complex. More complex than I thought. Maybe I should bring up that Portal game anyway. Oh my god. Mel, look at the comments.
I see what it actually looks like, since it keeps crashing on my laptop.
Mel, look at those comments. I love Rifted so much. Is it? Yes.
We Miles and Rita as Peter trying to remember something. Oh, it's perfection.
I don't think it's on.
The only time I used Scratch was to make an animated Google logo. Nice. That sounds awesome.
I wish all I was doing was animating, and honestly, I may even animate that portion of the project I'm supposed to do on Scratch. Okay, so let's see. So we're on level. What I want to see... Oh, wow, there's a code for acid death. I like that. Maybe it's supposed to be on the player character. Start, change if touching blank. Oh, acid death. Nice. Death, death, death.
There's a lot of... Oh my god.
I'm telling you, it's worth it though. Like, they legit made a functioning Portal game in here, and I'm just so impressed. But what I want to know is how the hell they got the player to stop moving. They've got so much with velocity here. I think this is all just portal code. Jesus. Kudos to you, my friend.
Just looking for some gravity.
I'm just looking for, not even gravity, I'm just looking for some physics. Yeah, sorry guys. There are 32 levels on this. Let's finish it. That's it?
No. Did you write the program?
I only have to do like 3, and I did not see anything about physics.
Well, wait, what's with the individual blocks? If it's just the same thing, like, over and over again.
Well, here's the thing. One of the cool stuff is, you know, you can copy paste stuff, but all of these things that are down here that are like the same thing over and over again, it's deciding the player's position. So like here, if level equals 25, then the player starts at a specific spot. It's actually really cool. But I can imagine the frustration it took trying to figure this out. That's a ball.
What's the blue one? What did the blue ones do?
The blue, which blue ones? The dark blue or the light blue?
Light blue.
Light blue is just sensing. So if we look over here at the sensing keys that you can't see on my screen, god damn it, it's stuff like touching mouse pointer or touching sprite 1, that type of thing. And it's constantly these checks of, is this particular thing occurring?
Isn't that what you're looking for?
No. So the sensing...
You said it's like touching sprite 1, and so if, like, sprite 1 is the character.
Right, so...
Maybe that's how you do it.
Right, so I've got that part put in. I've got the if touching town layout sprite. What I need is a then. And, maybe... Stop.
Don't look like... Is there a then?
Stop. Yeah. Well, I've got the if then. What I need is for it to stop effing moving. But I don't need it to stop moving forever. I need it to just not go through the thing. And
you test it yet? Does it still go through the thing? I'm sorry if I missed it. I apologize.
No, you're good. I did test it, and it's not. I wonder if let's do a not. If not touching the town layout.
I'm gonna get myself another Pepsi. I'll be right back.
All right, see you in a minute. But I'm not touching town layout. Why won't you let me move now? Oh, it didn't do the thing. If touching the town layout. Let's do if not touching the town layout. There we go. Now we're gonna do this. Okay, so we can move. Frick. And now I can't move at all, which is not what we want to do.
Made it. Pictures of. How's it going?
Well, I've gotten it to where it'll stop moving if it touches the town layout.
What?
But now if it touches the town layout, it stops moving, period.
The joys of game design. You can do this.
I just wrote a thing about Jay losing his mind with glitches. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to say if touching the town layout, then we're going to then what do we do? We're gonna... No, we're not gliding. We're gonna... Frick. I don't even know. I feel like... No, don't need clones. This is the hard part, is trying to figure out how all this works and figure out what to do next. Because some of it's pretty easy, you know? Right key, change X by 4. That makes sense. Unfortunately, this now is not as easy. Is there a wait however many seconds? Is that an event or control? Okay, so I don't want to wait. I wonder if there's a bounce thing. That's something. We'll change X by 1, change Y by 1. No, that won't work either, will it? Damn it. We're gonna try it. Screw it. We're gonna do this. Press the flag. We're walking. It actually works. It bounces off of the thing. Damn it, no. No, it only works by a specific way. Shit.
It's a step forward. It's a step forward.
It is a step forward. What happens if I say to change X and Y by also -1?
A question. Can you hear the train that is outside my window?
I can't hear the train. As for the question, was that an airplane? Probably my sister's boyfriend. It's okay. We like him. He's nice. He has realized that she too can be bribed with food. Fuck. Now it's not letting me move at all. That's not working. We're gonna take all those off because that's not working.
Oh my god, Rena.
I know, this is so vexing to me. I'm sitting here and I'm like, how do I do this? What does all this do? Oh, it tells you things. That's cool. So it's at times like these where we go and we ask Google what we should do next. So how to make a top-down scrolling game on Scratch. We're just going to delete that scrolling bit. We're going to say how to make a top-down game. We're going to see if there's written tutorials because, you know, I prefer writing. Damn it. Of course, the one I want to make is way more complicated than it needs to be.
You're just an overachiever, Rena. An overachiever with not enough time.
Story of my life.
Well, you'll figure it out, though. I'm not going to be pessimistic about it. You got this.
Oh, yeah, no, I have no doubt that it'll be figured out eventually.
The night before.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, that was bad. You okay?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just reading.
What do you mean? What are you reading?
Well, I tried looking to see if there were any simple tutorials that I could look at while still talking to y'all, but that's not looking real great. A lot of these are actually videos.
To end the stream then, or
No.
are you gonna drop?
No. We're gonna keep looking at this until I'm gonna give myself until 2:30. If by 2:30 I have not figured out anything, then we're gonna switch over to drawing and we're gonna take a breather. I'm at this point. Elo, that sounds stressful. Honestly, it sounds like being at my abuelita's house. So my abuelita, she spoke very, very minimal English, only spoke Spanish. And so anytime you visited any one of my dad's family's houses, especially where she was, just the background noise would be this crazy mix of Spanish and English the whole time. Because at this point, 90% of my family is just raised with English as a primary language. So you would hear like one of the kids ask their mom something in English. So mom would turn around and ask in Tex-Mex Spanglish to someone else. And then someone would turn to Abuelita and ask in full-on Spanish. And just repeat that a million times. And that's why I can pronounce Spanish words. But God help me whenever it comes to like syntax and how things are actually used. So first off, we're in the wrong spot here. What we're gonna do. No. I wonder if I can make a setting to where that's an edge. No. What I would like to do is just make it bounce off. Of course, the web page is using significant energy. Something has to, because my brain sure ain't. I don't have any blocks. No operators.
Excuse me.
You're good. You know?
Yes?
I don't know why I'm overthinking this so badly.
I don't know why you're what?
Overthinking? Yeah, overthinking it. I really appreciate that, Rifted. One of these days, when we don't have a million projects, I will devote more time to learning Spanish. Honestly, the best Spanish I learned at all was whenever I was working at a grocery store, and I was literally the only one who was willing to even try Spanish at all. And it got to the point where like all the old vaqueros and like ranch hands and everything who spoke primarily Spanish would come to my register because, hey, at least that chiquita is willing to actually, you know, try and talk. And of course, whenever I was 15 and I was only sacking and I looked super small, they all thought it was adorable that I was trying so hard to learn Spanish. And they taught me a lot of things and I love them. One of the best parts of that job, honestly, was people being so willing to help me learn Spanish.
It's so awesome, God. I wish Island people were helpful with the cash register.
I mean, I wanted to be good at my job, and part of that to me was, you know, can you actually talk to the people? Because hell, if I'm going to have to actually talk to people, I should at least know how to talk to all the people. And, you know, in West Texas, the primary languages are English and Spanish. And, you know, it's Dad's family is Mexican. I've always been like super out and happy about that.
Yeah.
But
Just spirit, or yeah.
sorry, I'm
Grocery
still
stores can be real.
But the frustrating thing is that like my dad was not taught Spanish as a kid. I
Oh.
Rifted, that sounds like a whole trip and a half. How on earth do I exactly?
Oh, jeez. That does sound crazy.
The crazy thing about me that always just completely confuses people is I clearly have very white skin. I am a very white looking person. But the thing that gets them is one, I can actually pronounce Spanish the way it's supposed to be, quote unquote. Like it has that same inflection and accent that my grandma and the rest of our family does. The other part that gets people is I have Hispanic features. Like I joke that it's Mexican strange combos. My brother, white, blonde haired, but we found a picture one year of my dad whenever he was like 8 years old, and it was black and white, so skin tone's not really as much of a factor. It was crazy. It was like looking at a picture of my brother. He looks exactly like my dad, except for my dad is brown and my brother is blonde.
Nice.
This vexes me.
Hey, wait, this vexes you as in your coding, or the fact that your brother and your dad look the same if it's black and white?
The coding vexes me. I love the fact that like my family is so hodgepodge and all that. Yeah, this the ability to grasp a second language and grasp a second language to the point of like teachers being frustrated about bad grades. Like, come on! I can't even do a crossword puzzle in Spanish at this point. And this kid's over here like in school. Respect. I just want it to bounce off the damn town. You know what?
So, wait, what kind of, okay, so you've got the blue ones that tell you what to do if this happens.
Right.
Can you, like,
yeah,
do one, can you use that for, like, if it gets stuck on the towns?
So, not necessarily, I don't think. I've got an if not touching the town layout. It does all this stuff. So, hit the little flag. We can walk around, we can do the thing. And it hits the town layout and it stops.
You say if touching town, if not moving when touching town layout, move.
You know what? I think I have an idea.
Just trying to brainstorm for you because I
Touching
really want you
layout.
to get good.
We're gonna say to wait however many seconds. I'm gonna wait 1 second. And then we're gonna try that. What people don't realize is at age 5, you actually have all of the... now it's not moving at all. Frick. You actually have all of the knowledge and understanding of how your language works by the age of 5. You may not have your full vocabulary. You may not have your full understanding of what words to use. But by the age of 5, you have a full understanding of how a language works. So if by, first 2 to 3 years, someone who had spoken English for like 5 to 7 years, then you've got a really good handle on things. Like that's amazing.
remember there was like this 7-year-old or something. I was working late at the grocery store, and so like the bakery closes an hour before my department. And there's all like every other day there's always someone who's like, hey, can I place an order? And I'm not good with Spanish, so I couldn't understand it, but like the little girl
Oh yeah,
who they were
kids
making the cake for was translating.
kids
I
of
was just like, oh my
monolingual
God.
parents are crazy. Nope, not working.
Just like, oh thank God, I am saved.
Hmm. What can I do?
It work? Or have you not done it yet? I can't
Partially
tell how
it's
Scratch.
worked. At this point, I can move around and it stops if I touch the town layout. But at touching the town layout, then it stops moving entirely.
Right, but you said you were going to try the thing where
Yeah, no, I've tried
wait a
it.
second and then move?
Yeah, I've tried it. I think I need to add more code.
Or pseudocode.
It is pseudocode. You got me there.
I'm smart. You think this is hard though? Try doing RStudio. It's the worst thing ever, Rena. That was sarcastic. Never do RStudio.
Oh, really? Is it bad?
It's terrible. I was constantly looking back and forth between in-class examples and what I was doing. And it's not even like coding a game, it's coding like how you analyze data. So like our final project was to test a control, and it was so bad. And let's just say the extra credit is what saved me from getting a C.
Dang.
That class is so infamous in the poli-sci major here that people have retaken it multiple times and have been held back from graduation because they didn't pass the course because they waited until their last semester.
Oh, hell. No.
It's required for us to learn how to do empirical research.
I mean, empirical research is hard as hell, but I can see how it's required. Unfortunately, I'm an art major.
We don't have to put up with this. Yay!
Instead, I'm having to do pseudocode.
This was like, wasn't this just a for fun course, or did you actually need this for your major?
No, so this is one of those, like, you need an upper level IST type filled in.
Oh.
Yeah. So the way that my major actually works is it's digital media arts, and it's like my school's super young beta stage digital art major. Hopefully, what I would love to see, and I would be flattered to come back and help with if they ever gave me the opportunity, I would love to see this turn into Digital Media Arts College at LCU. And you can have your different, well, this is the animation, this is the game design, this is the that, whatever, fields of study. As it is right now, digital media arts major in the business college. So technically I'm getting a business degree. Which is really great for like getting hired to do stuff like corporate design or PR, that type of thing. And it's a great foundation for, oh, hey, I know how to use Adobe InDesign now. But it's still very touch a little bit of everything. So in my 4 years at college, I have done anything from, I'm doing game coding now. I did animation my first year in Adobe Animate. I've done logo design. I'm doing logo design now. I'm in advertising courses, developing client pitches. I've seen marketing and management courses. It's very broad. So I know how to do a lot of things in theory. Oh, I didn't watch it, but Mel definitely sent me the YouTube video.
I did. I don't think you watched it though, did you?
No, I did not watch it at all. Mostly because, like, again, I've told people about, like, my pretentious hate everything phase. Back whenever I would watch, like, CinemaSins all the time, which was kind of in that same field of thought, except the guy would actually watch the stuff that he was going to talk about. Ooh, burn.
And 20 minutes long was stupid. Like, the first, 10 CinemaSins episodes are some of the funniest crap ever because it's just rapid fire, rapid fire, rapid fire. Which, in my opinion, is like nostalgia is clouding the judgment, but I don't know, for the first amazing when he was like, encourages stalking.
Oh my god. I loved his videos, and I still think they have some merit. I still think they're fun to watch. But in my opinion, his Cinema Wins videos, so much more fun. They're fun to watch. What I need is something that's like, we're walking around, and then it stops.
But I left a comment, and then I was really embarrassed about it because I thought I was being too smart and sarcastic and angry, and so I deleted it, and then I left another, and then I deleted that one because I thought I was backtracking too much.
Well,
and then yesterday I just
well, I mean, I think it's better to be like, I'd rather delete this than leave it up if I'm having doubts about something, simply because, I mean, if anything, this whole video thing is proof that if you're gonna put something out there, you need to be prepared for the backlash to come at you. And if you're not prepared for that, or if you don't feel like you don't feel like dealing with that emotional mental load, then yeah, take your stuff off. Take care of yourself. It's not even about avoiding scrutiny. It's not even about avoiding confrontation. It's about doing what's best for you. I've deleted stuff off my Tumblr before. I posted a story about Zane. It was actually a request from somebody about a specific AU. I got really dark, not gonna lie, and there's a particular comment that I didn't know if it was joking or not, so I just took the whole thing down rather than encourage more of that iffy stuff.
You got really dark.
It is dark for me. I know I do a whole lot of angsty stuff, but it got particularly dark for my stuff, you know?
Gotcha. No, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, you should have left it up, no. Although, the guy seems to have gotten, I've been checking his Twitter periodically, because I used to follow him,
Right.
I was subscribed to him before this video came out, and so I was like, oh, sweet, he's gonna talk about this. Oh, no.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Maybe I should change it. Maybe I should change it to an if then
he did a tweet where he was like, what should I do about this?
Huh.
Video. It's like, should I unlist it?
Well, I mean,
you guys.
my advice would definitely be to be aware that no matter what you may think of a specific thing, be aware that there are probably people who really enjoy it, It doesn't have to be Ninjago or a kid's show at all. You go out there and you could trash Sonic 06, and you have to be aware that there are still people for whom this was a fun game that means a lot to them. And I'm not saying to go and kiss up to anybody or to say stuff that you don't actually think. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But I would definitely say, if you're going to go out and intentionally trash something, it should be done with, one, I think it should be done with an air of humor to it, within reason. And two, it should be done with the understanding that there are people who do honestly enjoy whatever it is you want to trash. So keep that in mind, you know?
I think he understood that because he said, like, because in the video, I know you didn't watch it, he said that he just wanted to piss everybody off, essentially.
Well, I mean, mission accomplished, my man.
Definitely. He didn't, although I didn't think, well, the thing is I don't think he expected everybody to find this video who is a fan of the show. And this is the part that I didn't tell you about. He has his DMs open on Twitter. So I kind of just messaged him and was like, hey, maybe the reason why people like are so upset, besides your points, is that nobody else, I told you about this, nobody else in the cartoon community talks about Ninjago at all. So like your example with Sonic 06, where it's like, yeah, there's still going to be people that like it. There's still like 50 other like not even 50, like hundreds of videos trashing that video game. But it's like the only video on YouTube that trashes Ninjago. In a crappy way.
Yeah, like, I mean, I really don't see how it's fixable aside from, hey, don't be a jerk about things. You know?
And then Michael Adams.
Oh man, I think I would die. I think if that was like
that like screenshot I sent you.
Yes.
Was not him responding to the guy that made the video. That was someone else who was like who saw all of like the people getting pissed off at the dude that made the video and was like, I think Ninjago is dumb too. Come at me, bros. And then the voice actor just shows up and is like, hey, don't do that, you're just being a troll.
What absolutely gets me is that, like, people like you and me who like the show are like, yeah, no, that point was effing stupid. Like, there's some points that are, for the most part, accepted as just like, yeah, no, that shouldn't have happened. They must have, somebody dropped something in the writer's room that day. But there's still a love for the show, you know? But what? I don't know how discourse works. I run away from it actively.
Oh, you should. Yeah, I love drama, and so I kind of just watch it. This was the first time where I was like, this is the dumbest reasoning I think I've ever heard. Like, why would... I still stand by my statement in the deleted comment that if Ninjago's ripping off anything, it's Power Rangers.
Let's be real. If Ninjago's ripping off anything, it's Power Rangers, Star Wars, and or The Last Airbender.
Very loosely.
And I say that with all the love in my heart.
At the beginning of the video they joke about because oh my god, that was like where I knew at the start of the video that this was not going to be a good one, where they were talking about, oh, I know exactly how this show got pitched. Like cynical people wanting to make an Avatar knockoff, essentially. And I was just sitting there like, oh my god, kill me. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel ya. Maybe if I say that, let's try that. We're moving around, we're doing great, and then it.
Sorry for like focusing on this drama. It's super fun to see people like slowly hear about it, and then just that like to dislike bar just.
I got stuck. I want you guys.
Stuck again. Wait, it looks like you got unstuck.
No, I'm not doing that. It's stuck.
A minute. Wait, the game's playing itself?
It's not playing itself.
Wait,
It's just stuck right there.
What did you do?
I told it to turn 15 degrees and move 4 steps if it ran into a building. I don't think that's how I'm gonna fix this. Remember, guys, it is. Remember, guys, whenever there's nothing you can do to fix a problem except go back, laugh at it first, then fix it. Gosh, now I need to, damn it. Can we set direction to wide? Maybe? Okay, there we go. That's set back to where I wanted to. Oh, that was funny. What time is it? 2:23? Okay, 7 more minutes of me racking.
We still have 7 minutes to figure this out.
7 minutes of me racking my brain to fix this, and then we're gonna be done.
Oh, do you want to wait? Okay. Do you want to do the Pirates AU?
Ooh, Pirates AU. Okay, show of hands or emojis or whatever the frick. Who has actually seen that Pirates picture that I posted this last night? We'll see if they actually saw any of it. I did straight up rent on Stranger Tides on YouTube because I am my father's daughter. I know. I haven't watched it yet. But I rented it for $4 on YouTube, and I'm going to watch it. Okay, Bumblebee definitely saw it. Sweet. I feel like I should check notes on things.
I think I've only seen it on Stranger Times a combination of once, and the only reason I remember the plot is because I had Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, and that was the last world was on Stranger Tides.
Well, and my thing is that, like, I know I've seen the reception. My heart is personally broken that Will Turner is not a player in that movie. Let's be real. He was half the reason I started that marathon in the world. JB, you're 100% right, but I want to...
It's sense for him not to be in it, though.
I know, it makes so much sense. But my heart hurts.
What would you do?
My heart hurts, okay? Like, he was half the reason I started that marathon in the first place, and you know it.
Orlando Bloom.
What a man. Very rarely do I get onto those, talking about celebrity tangents, but dang. His and Elizabeth's stories, like, their whole arcs through the 3 movies, half the reason that let's be real, it's 99% of the reason why I watch those movies.
Yeah, like, people are like, oh, Jack Sparrow carries the franchise. I'm like...
Lies!
It was Will Turner, Elizabeth Swann, and Hector Barbosa. Don't even with me.
Yeah, so, like, I told you, Dad and I, we watched all 3 of them together. And the entire time we're sitting there watching these, and, like, we're the type of people that sit there talking about movies and, like, what we think carries these movies. Like, 3 times, both of us were just like, God, I love Barbosa. He's a crazy-ass man. God, I love him.
Jeffrey Rush is just, he just brings a whole nother level. And, like, I honestly think that Dead Man's Chest is probably my favorite. But it's very much tied with Curse of the Black Pearl because there isn't more Jeffrey Rush. I need Barbosa.
Barbosa's so good. I don't remember. Let me check if that's the picture I put in Discord. We've had a lot of chatting in Discord.
Wait, Discord? Oh, is this a Discord server I'm not in?
Yeah, this is actually real, like, IRL people that I know. And to answer your question, yes. It is part of that picture that I put into the Discord, something that Tumblr actually has not seen yet. You guys have not seen that sketch. People in a particular Discord server or two might have seen a sketch or a colored version of it, but I have not posted that on Tumblr yet. Mostly because it would give away some of it. Remember the first one that I sent you with the ghost storyline?
I was thinking it was a different one.
No, although
The movie we watched together last night.
I definitely did show that to a couple of people, though. You know me, I can't keep my damn mouth shut, but it didn't have much of a caption to it.
Either of us, like, honestly.
Oh no, it's 2:30. I have to put the project away and give my brain a break. Oh no.
Is it 2:30?
Oh no. Oh no. Remember, kids, it's always important to give your brain a break when it comes to these things. Yeah, that's the thing that we do. Real quick, before we continue this, I'm going to take a quick break. I'm leaving the stream up. Just going to turn off the camera for a minute. I'm stupid
I told
hungry.
them about the AU.
Actually, yeah, that's something that I could do. Let me pull up the picture, and we're going to do something super, what is that? We're going to do something that's super hamstrung, and I'm going to move the computer closer to my phone. Can you guys actually hear Mel while she's talking?
I'm too far away from my microphone.
No, the computer's further away from my phone. So I want to check and see if they can actually hear you talking, and if I can leave you by my phone for 5 minutes while I go and grab something to eat.
They can hear me.
Sweet. Now, if only... Okay, great. So I'm going to turn that up as high as it will go. Make sure that Discord's turned up as high as it will go. Mel, if you want to tell them about the AU, then please do so. I'm going to run and get something to eat. I'll be right back, guys. And Mel, I hand it off to you.
Okie dokie. No. All right. So as some of you have put together, Woo is Jack Sparrow. We sort of split Will Turner and Elizabeth Turner into two different characters. We have Kai and Lloyd. Lloyd is the one with the pirate dad past. Kai is a blacksmith, but his parents are actually in charge of the town they're in. We're calling it Port Royal for now still, but you know, this can change to just Jamaica or whatever. We haven't talked about this yet. So Elizabeth is now split between Nia and Skylar. By the way, no romance there for Lloyd. The romance is for Kai and Skylar. What else? So Skylar is still gonna be Chen's daughter, and she was basically sent to go chill with Nia and the people in charge of the area. We're justifying her showing up. And then Woo. Yeah, Woo is Jack Sparrow in this version. Jay is his first mate. Cole and Zane join the crew once they're in the Tortuga place. You know, actually, I need to talk to Rena about this. I think Tortuga can be Styx.
I actually love that idea so much. Hey guys.
Ooh. That was fast. I thought it was going to be 5 minutes, not 30 seconds.
See, I thought so too, and then I remembered that I have pizza rolls and a microwave in here.
Uh, so wait, you have a microwave in your room?
Yeah, so it is a really weird situation that I live in.
You just live in a bunker?
I don't live in a bunker. I live in what used to be a garage that got converted into like an apartment. So even though it doesn't work, there's actually a working or a stove and a fridge and freezer unit that are installed in here. So if we ever got it to work, I would have a stove, fridge, freezer unit. I've got a shower. I have my microwave and my mini fridge from school. Like, I even have my own entrance and exit. If we really wanted it to, this could be oh yeah, that's Rena's little apartment that she lives in, and we see her whenever she wants to come over for dinner.
Or when you move out, your parents could totally rent it out as an apartment.
We've talked about that. They want to keep it as like way off in the future whenever their kids have kids of their own type thing.
So basically, a bunker. Yes, Jay-Z. Yes.
I don't live in a bunker. It's above ground. I get sunlight. The cats aren't allowed out here mostly because they like to hide inside the couch like little heathens. In fact, the only animal that I let come out here with me is my dog, because the puppy, what he does is he cries and cries and cries to come in here because he wants to be with me. And then he sits by my door and cries and cries and cries because he doesn't want to be in the apartment. Whereas my dog is like, oh, we're in the apartment. I'm going to curl up on the couch and go to bed.
Aww.
Because she's a sweetheart and I love her. Okay, guys, so I am back. Let's go ahead and open up a new tab here. What scene do you think we should work on now?
Well, it depends on which movie you want to do.
Well, I kind of thought we could just go in order as we introduce people to this. I do want to go ahead and show them that one thing that I showed you with the green and the ghost.
Oh, yes, okay. So instead of zombies, we're doing ghosts, which means Barbossa, Jack Sparrow's traitorous first mate that stole the pearl from him and mutinied him, is Moro.
Yes. Which actually, this is one of my favorite pieces I've ever done. Didn't do any line art. Honestly, I fall into a really bad habit of posting things at 2 o'clock in the morning, which is why I think I reblogged something this morning so that, people with actual sleep schedules could see it. And a big part of getting people to see your stuff is, one, use all the tags that you possibly can that are pertinent to what you want to see. This means if a character mentions another character, that second character does not need to be tagged. Tag your main characters, tag the fandoms that actually are featured within the post. I'm sure we've all seen stuff where it's just like, why on earth did you tag that? So use your tags and use them wisely, and pay attention to when you post. Like I said, I have a bad habit of posting things whenever I finish them, which tends to be at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's not a good habit to have.
That's a wonderful thing for me to wake up to, or still be awake for, and be the first person to like.
See?
Great vlog.
But the key is that you're still awake. You're just as much of a heathen as I am.
True.
But that's why scheduling posts or putting them in your queue works really well. I still haven't got myself in the habit of doing that at all, but do as I say, not as I do, and all that jazz.
All that shit. Great, Rita. You just made me think of Chicago again.
He had it coming.
And I think the last song in the movie is highly underrated.
See, and I still have not watched Chicago. I know, I'm horrible. I've never watched Chicago.
I'm a musical buff, so that's, yeah.
It's okay. My
I
friend...
don't think most people our age have seen Chicago.
My friend Kenzie is disappointed more in me every single day, as I know random songs because of her, but don't actually know the musicals that they're from.
Hey, listen, like, my aunt put a bunch of songs from Greece on my iPod shuffle when I was, like, in 2nd grade. And I hadn't seen that movie ever. But I knew all the songs.
Hey, you know how Grease is. If you know the songs, you basically watched the movie. Well, and the other hard part, like you said, it was an Easter picture. Know your audience is the hard part. I always tell people, if you want to get notes, if that is your goal, your end goal is not necessarily about putting out anything. Oh my god, JB, fine. Next week at work, if you bring it, I will watch it. But if you've...
I would totally high-five you, but I'm on the laptop version and I don't know how to do emojis like that.
But if you're trying to just get notes, that's your big goal here, is to get people to see your stuff. Know your audience. Whenever I was starting out, I noticed that one of the things that I absolutely love to see, palettes and palette sketches. There was some Ninjago sketches out there like that, some challenges, but there wasn't a whole lot of them. So I decided to do that. It was simple, it was easy, all I had to do was draw the characters. Now I just needed people to ask me. And then nobody asked me anything except for like Mel. And so instead what I did was I said, I'm still gonna do these palettes. Let me just rig up a dice system so it's still random.
I'm Shiro Gun. This is
I still say this is the best Moro I have ever drawn. You guys broke Mel. I still say this is the best Moro that I've ever drawn. And I stand by that statement. If you guys want to see what the sketch version looks like, hold on, we gotta slowly go through here and erase so much stuff. We're not erasing, don't worry, I'm just hiding layers.
Hiding layers. I like it.
I have worked on so many layers to get this right.
Holy crap! I didn't realize you had like the skull looked crazy.
Yeah, very much was a slow work in progress. Yeah, no, I really love that sketch.
I like the sketch, like, oh my, yeah. Like, it looks great, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, it's like, the sketch was like what set the expectations, and I was like, oh, amazing.
That's one of my favorite sketches of Moro I've ever done. I can understand wanting to see if like your art is good. Again, the hard part is knowing your audience and knowing who else is out there sketching. I've said before that people like Speedy and Luna being out and existing in the world was a big intimidating factor for me whenever I first started posting this stuff a year ago. Holy crap, it's been a year, officially.
It has?
I want to say like the first stuff that I posted was in April because I was having a breakdown about finals.
Oh man, that's insane. which means like in just a couple weeks.
God, you know how happy I am that like I'm an art major and so my finals are projects, so I'm working on them now. Like, God bless.
Very happy, I imagine.
So happy.
What was the thing I was... Oh, so, just switching gears, if you don't mind me. What scene did you want to draw?
What now? Oh, right. Scene. God, I don't know. We've done Kai and Lloyd waking up Jay with Wu. We've talked about the different cameos that we're gonna have. But you know me, I love me those action scenes. Or the angsty ones.
Alrighty. I want to get Cole and Zane in here soon.
God, me too.
Oh right. I was gonna suggest. Remember how there was the one crew member who didn't talk, but his parrot talked for him?
Yes.
What if Cole is mute and Zane talks for him?
But Mel, that means whenever Zane goes to the wares, Cole doesn't get to talk. Oh my God, you're awful. I love it. This is how our conversations go. I love that so much.
I was just thinking about how to give them more to do.
I love that. And we got a seal of approval. Look at that.
Alrighty. But yeah, that still doesn't answer the action scene question.
Well, it didn't necessarily have to be an action scene. We could even just show like Cole and Zane standing side by side, you know, and Zane being just like...
Also just have this be like the roll call for the new crew.
Yeah, just Zane standing next to him being like, he wants to know when we're sailing.
Oh, Zane with the parrot as his falcon.
Oh, that would actually be so cool.
Oh, that would be cool. Me wants to make it angsty. Riff did be like, but it would make more sense if the falcon was here.
Sitting here like, there's such good options here.
So make Zane the one that can't speak.
Yeah, have Zane being the one who can't speak with his falcon and just be like, you know, when do you sail? That type of thing. And then what do we do with Cole? Yeah, Cole just there.
That's the worst part about this. I was gonna just have him be like Glacier, but even then, it's like, what do we do for Cole?
Poor Cole always gets the short end of the stick here.
We're barely giving Zane anything.
See, our struggle is that anytime we focus on Cole, we end up hurting him.
That's some foreshadowing.
Yeah, guys, if you haven't checked out EOTU, have fun.
Yeah, it's trying to be vague, but I mean, if you just want to go out and name it.
Listen, we've already said straight up, this is a Cole season, and you and I have a reputation.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. That is true.
Scratch is so strange because anytime you hit anything about closing it, they're like, do you want to leave the page? Yes, that's why I hit the X button.
Oh, make Cole part of Moro's crew. That would be a good idea. Reference the whole ghost Cole.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
What are you
Cole doesn't
thinking?
have the final fight with Moro, but Cole does.
Oh my...
Cole is the one that steals some of the gold
Yes.
and goes.
Yes, and it's just like, oh my god, yes! Yes! That's perfect! Thank you, Rifted! Now I need to find, like, now I need to find a, reference picture. Mel, are you still there? Did you cut out?
I was just kind of leaning back in my chair because I was laughing.
I was just double checking because I was worried you'd cut out for a minute.
No, I'm here. So wait, are we going with the Cole is a part of Mora's crew?
I say we combine the concepts. So Cole is a part of Moro's crew that kind of give him a little bit, you know, I know we have that specific character as having Bootstrap's part, but still take some of that. It didn't sit well with him what they did to Wu, or to Jack, whoever. And
I thought that was Garm.
Well, yes. but take a little bit of that to and give it to Cole, where like he kept his mouth shut whenever they did this to Wu, but now more people are getting dragged into it, and just Moro, this needs to stop, and have him have that confrontation like you were saying.
Gotcha. Whispers true, correct. Oh my god, Master. So, like, how many movies have you seen?
Probably a lot that I have not seen. It is
Never seen True Grit, not even the remake?
Not even the remake. It is no secret that I have a love for animation, to the point of not watching a lot of live action movies.
Same. I used to watch so many live action movies, and now I'm just like, no.
Well, here's the thing. You know, if I want angsty stuff for cartoons, then I can find angsty stuff for cartoons. Live action is always like, it's gotta be gritty and realistic. Why? I'm trying to find a good part of the fight to draw that would show Cole, but not show Moro. Because I'm cool with y'all in the YouTube video watching this, but I want to keep that a little close to the vest for a little bit longer. JB, we are friends? So, Cole's dad is not a part of the crew. We tend not to include Lou in very much, outside of certain parts of certain stories.
There you go. There you go. Let's have them be like runaway pirates.
Yeah.
Oh, I came up with a sort of sad way to raise the stakes. If you'd be interested.
You know, I always love raising stakes. I always love hurting characters.
So my idea that I got late last night that I kept forgetting about, and I've been like trying to look for a good segue to, was to raise. So we made Garmadon Bootstrap, essentially.
Right. Yeah. Bootstrap Bill.
Like they don't really need to chain him to a cannon and push him off the side of the boat. They just have to throw him off the side of the boat because, they're ghosts.
Yeah.
So just once you hit the water, it's mist. So it's like, who
Rip
do we
Garmadon.
give? Who do we give the canon story to?
Oh.
What if we give it to Zane?
Oh, you evil person.
If he tries to escape, gets caught. Then the next time we see him is on the Flying Dutchman.
I love that. I love that so much.
So instead of Zane deciding to go with Kai and Cole, or Kai and Lloyd to the Flying Dutchman, like initially, like that's what we were talking about before. People who were not privy to our DMs. It can be Cole and Kai, and then they find Zane there, and it's like, ba 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 blah.
I love that description so much. I just want you to know. But yes, I am tying together those threads in my head. You just gotta give me a minute to catch up. But yes, I agree with what you say. Now, Master of Swag, I think, well, the possibility of having Cole be unable to talk is a really fun thing to play with. I don't think it's necessarily a necessity. Part of me is torn between the whole, have Zane speak for him. The other part of me is torn between have Zane have the Falcon speak for him. And it's definitely stuff that, wow, that is not Cole's body type. What am I doing? But it's definitely, I think you guys will be really happy with whatever it is that we come up with. We're just gonna have to have some time to come up with them.
But then Zane's Falcon can go to Cole.
Okay, that's actually heartbreaking. Have all your stuff with Zane and Cole having the Falcon. I love that. You know what's even better?
Ooh, hit me.
Cole knowing that because the Falcon isn't trying to go anywhere and it's just staying with him, that it means Zane is gone.
Well, I was thinking that like they were gonna have to hold back Cole from doing from the Zane thing, but yeah, no, this works.
Well, remember we're gonna have Nia trying to hold Kai back whenever they're trying to get back.
Yes, their parents.
Yeah.
Set those guys up to die.
Right, because, death. Because no one deserves nice things.
Oh, right, we haven't even discussed who David Jones is going to be.
We haven't.
It's the Overlord.
Should I bring up the sketch?
Which sketch? You mean that one?
I think you know exactly which one that I mean.
You want to show it off?
Oh, Master Swag, I am so happy that that helped you. And you know me, of course I want to show it off. So we've got this fun one.
Also, Beckett in this universe, the guy that was in charge of the trading company?
Beckett
Chen.
is Chen. He's such an evil jerk face.
Hey, in a dress fighting with some ghosts.
Unfortunately, Jay is not Elizabeth in this sequence of events. Elizabeth's and Will's storylines actually got split up into multiple characters as it would happen. Certain elements of theirs got split into different character lines here, because instead of working with, you know, a core 3 or 4 characters, if you want to include Barbossa, we're working with like 8.
Oh my god, we just completely skipped Pixel.
We skipped Pixel, son of a bitch.
It happens. It happens.
I feel so bad for Pixel because, like, so often I just forget she exists. And I don't mean that in, like, a bad way or anything. Like, it just happens. And I have no idea why.
Add her. Alright, we've, like, changed who the one chick is, like, 5 different times, but now I think the girl from the first movie who Wu stole the ship from should be Pixel.
Honestly, that would be really fun. The only thing is, it's just like, I would love for Pixel to be a recurring character, you know?
What character?
A recurring character. Like, just somebody who comes back. I feel like once she gets her ship, I feel like we never really saw her again. I could be wrong,
She
though.
never came back. She was busy with other... I think she was busy with Star Trek.
Oh, that would make sense.
Actress that plays Gamora?
Was she?
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, you tend to be more spot on about these things than I do.
Let's see, Wikipedia. Where is the actress? Where is the actress? Zaldana. That's...
Yeah.
Let's see. Filmography. 2003, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Dang, girl. I can hear my dad talking to my dog outside.
Yeah, it looks like she didn't come back for the sequels.
Unfortunate. I like her.
Oh yeah, she's a good actress. But yeah, it looks like she was busy with other stuff. Although her next big movie wasn't until 2009 with Star Trek.
Huh. Honestly, I've really liked everything that she's in. Especially, I think she's in Book of Life as Maria.
Is Maria?
I think so.
What year did Book of Life come out? 2014? You're right! Oh my god!
Ah, I finally knew one.
Of course you know the cartoon. I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, I totally get you. It makes sense.
Oh man, Book of Life, that is a very, very good, love the art style of that movie so much.
It's so good. It's one of my favorite movies, 100%. I think I actually bought the Blu-ray for it. I don't think it's anything special, but I did buy a Blu-ray for it.
Like, I love, like, the movie is based on, I kept watching because it was, I mean, like, it's a cute story, don't get me wrong, it's just, I remember my dad was like casually watching it with us because he's just like, fine, whatever, and then he realized it was a jukebox musical and walked out.
Hold on, I think my dog is trying to get in here.
Like, I can put up with a lot of your stuff, Emma, but not this.
Come here, Pebbush. Come on. Sorry, everyone, but Pebbles doesn't really bark, so she's not going to make any guest appearances here. All right, go lay down. Go to bed. Good girl.
What if Jay can see it somewhere?
So I do love the idea of Jay in a disguise. The only thing is I'm not as big on the whole putting a character in a dress for humor type joke. It's never really...
Oh, that did happen in Pirates, if you recall.
Oh, yeah, no, I do remember it happening. It's just not necessarily something that, like, I always want to do, you know?
I gotcha. Although, you have to admit, Dareth and Ronan doing it would be pretty funny.
I admit, those two characters in disguise, and really, like, not necessarily even, like, having the dress be the butt of the joke or whatever, but, like, the idea that the disguise fails because Ronan gets so fed up with Dareth's crap. That's some good stuff. The only bad thing about this AU, Morrow's hat is going to hide that fantastic hair.
I was trying to look up what, like, Japanese pirates looked like during this time, and I couldn't find anything. like the pirates that kept coming up were ones that were, like, 16th century.
Well, and maybe that was just like... Maybe that was just like the age of Japanese piracy. It was just that particular portion, you know? Or that particular era.
That's why maybe that's why the ones in the movie were from Singapore and China.
Probably, like, well, I mean, for one, China was a naval power for centuries. And,
definitely.
And the other part is just, I think Singapore, I mean, that's a trade hub, you know? It would make sense that there would be pirates there.
Also, you had to pay off that setup in the first movie where Jack was like, "Clearly, you've never been to Singapore."
Oh yeah, you had to have that payoff. I'm glad you guys enjoy the anatomy on here. It is through blood, sweat, and tears that I am able to draw blood, sweat, and tears.
Oh right, okay. So what was the guy's name from Singapore again? It always, like, slips my mind.
Sao Feng?
Sao Feng. That's gonna be not a con in this AU.
Hell yeah, it is. Also, I love the fact that Barbossa was just like, I'm going to do this entire fight in a big coat.
But of course.
Mostly because it gives us the opportunity to have Morrow running around in a big coat, and that we can't pass that up.
And Morrow wearing pants in general is, like, out of character, so.
Yeah, we're gonna. Oh, that'll be an adjustment for sure.
Miss starts believing in curses. Oh, Miss Garmadon, you're in one.
Gosh, I love Barbossa so much, but I love the dialogue of these movies. Like, just every single... I, of course, can't comment on, like, the fourth and the fifth, because I haven't watched them yet. But, like, every single one of that first trilogy has something in it that just makes you have chills, you know?
Good lines. It's got very good lines.
And, like, the entire opening of At World's End, the singing, and the fact that it's a kid that starts it, and just the defiance of the scene. Love me some good Rebel vibes.
It's just like, finally, like, this is what he's been after this entire time.
Well, and just the implication that, like, he has executed dozens, if not hundreds of people, including children, because nobody's batting an eye at this kid in line, just to get them to start singing. Like, ooh!
What, like, cracks me up is that Beckett's, like, trying to figure out what the significance of the 9 pieces of 8 are for, like, the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
You know? Even though he's, like, been listening to this song that they keep singing.
That tells the story. Like, oh my god! And yes, Moro can have a little emo as a treat. So now you guys can see how I lazily draw backgrounds. There weren't any sirens or mermaids in the first movie, were there?
Oh, that's the one you're about to watch.
Yeah, that's the fourth one. Which, you know, as I watch more of them, maybe we can add more in there. You know, maybe there's spaces for more characters with more characters introduced, despite the loss of Will and Elizabeth. Such a good.
Did you watch all of the Hunger Games movies?
I read all the Hunger Games books.
So if you watch the movies, on Stranger Tides is going to be a little fun because one of the characters is played by Finnick.
I do know what Finnick looks like. I am aware of that actor in my mind.
That was what I remember because I watched On Stranger Tides like after Catching Fire came out, and so it was like, oh look, it's Finnick.
Finnick was such a good character, and honestly, he breaks my heart so much.
Yeah, this bullshit.
Bro, did you read the books?
I skimmed Mockingjay. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you.
That's totally fine. It was intense. His
I was just
death.
fed up with Katniss at that point. I was like,
Well, she had her own issues, and you know, this, that, whatever. But Finnick, whenever his death came, he played such a bigger part in Mockingjay that whenever it did come, and you know what he'd done, you know where his character was and where he was going, it hurt. It hurt so bad.
He got married right before the mission. This is going to end brilliantly.
But Mel, that wasn't even it. Like, the whole point of the marriage wasn't just, you know, oh, I'm going on a mission, I want to get married. No, it was like a morale boost for the entire compound that just let us please just have this one shred of happiness. And then, like, all the people from District 12 were like, you know what? All of these District 13 people have no idea how to dance. You've got a busted up fiddle. Let's actually do some dancing. And they actually get all these people that have been living in this strict, structured life. It's this pocket of warmth and happy and dancing right before this big mission. And it hurts so bad. Pablitas, ¿qué quieres? What's wrong? Do you want to go outside? Because you're not going down. Sorry, she's sniffing around and messing with my stuff, which wouldn't be a problem if she was not blind. Do you want to go inside? Let's go inside. Come on. Be right back, guys.
What else? What else to talk about with these movies? Oh, but yeah, so Garmadon is like the bootstrap equivalent, and so Lloyd is the one with the big goal to save his daddy-o from a curse.
What absolutely gets me about this, like, one of the big complaints that I've seen in Pirates, going through and watching them these past few days, because, you know, I gotta do the Tumblr search. I can't just not do it. Has been the time skip between certain movies and just the lack of that showing on specific characters. One of the things that I absolutely love about this AU is we're going to start, and, you know, Lloyd is going to be this little short kid that's shorter than Kai, who is not a tall man. And we're going to watch him grow, you know? Like, by the time we get to that third act, what have you, with At World's End, like, Lloyd's gonna basically be a young adult.
It'd be so great.
It's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be adorable.
I keep forgetting the order that all of my stuff is in. And we're gonna put that right over there. There we go. Always keep your workspace organized, kids. It will save you headaches in the long run. And I will tell you, the ending of Mockingjay is bittersweet, and I felt it was earned. I felt the ending of Mockingjay, the book, I felt that it was a good end to my first dystopia story. I will tell you, if you like dystopia, but you also like a shred of realism in your dystopia, and maybe a little bit of a dash of apocalypse in there if you'd like, Ashfall, that trilogy, will tear your heart out, stomp on it, and give it back to you with a slight dose of coal lung.
I'll take your word for it.
So good. It's so good. Nice and angsty, and it's got that right dose of just, here's what would happen if XYZ. So we have...
With Mockingjay, I think it's a good ending. I was just completely and utterly, like, frustrated with Katniss, and I know you're not supposed to get mad at characters for making dumb decisions because it's within character. But I was just like sitting there like, girl, the last half of this book would not have happened if you would have just waited like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, Homegirl has got some issues.
Yeah, she wanted to be on the front lines, but could no one have like knocked her out for 2 weeks?
Did we not have tranquilizer darts in the future?
It's just also like it didn't feel like it was the Capitol's fault that all of those people that they were chilling with died, you know?
Yeah.
It felt like it was Katniss's fault.
Yeah, there's a lot in there. If she hadn't
been so stubborn about this, none of this would be happening.
There's a lot in there that's just like direct consequences of your actions, and the realism that it brings is great, but I can see how from like an entertainment standpoint it's like, for fuck's sake.
And I guess the other thing is that it doesn't seem like it, or at least, granted, it's been a while since I've read the book, so maybe the book's fixed this, but I watched the movie a couple years ago, part 2 anyway, and it didn't seem like, outside of one scene where she had a crying fit, that it was addressed at all at it being her fault.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
You can have her make dumb decisions, you know, that get characters killed, but like, have it affect them outside of a crying fit is all I have.
I feel you. I think I get caught up so much in like, I am such an easy person to please with media. I will not lie. I am such an easy person to please with media. I'll get caught up in the cool sword fights or in the bows and arrows and the action and all of that, and somebody will come and be like, wow, this movie actually sucks, XYZ, and I'll be like...
I didn't mean to phrase it like that. It's literally just, like, personal.
No, you're fine. I totally hear what you're saying, and I know that it's, like, a personal thing or whatever. It cracks me up so much because, that, like, you're saying this because you really enjoy good movies and you want the best for these movies, and I'm sitting here, like, just... Oh, she sang a song. That's some cool shit.
Hey, I mean, that was me with Pirates when we were texting during the movie yesterday.
Hey, you know what?
Oh man, this song is literally the plot or the backstory. This is so cool.
What gets me with Pirates of the Caribbean, like, you do turn off your brain a little bit for those movies. Because, like, there's definitely a cursed ship with black sails that has garnered a reputation for itself and has bolstered that reputation for a considerable number of years of being a destructive force on the sea. And it's, like, a mild inconvenience to the British Navy at best.
Nothing from doing anything with the British Navy.
Well, yeah, no, but like, we see at the beginning, we're like, the Black Pearl has presumably come in and just decimated these two ships. And you know, we see little Will floating on the raft, so we're all distracted or whatever. But, like, very clearly, it's causing some problems. Barbossa and his men, even after the mutiny and everything, they're still out there fucking shit up. And there's mild inconvenience to the British Navy about this one particular undead ship with a captain.
I'm totally gonna justify this. I'll argue in favor of Curse of the Black Pearl. So I think that Barbossa and his dudes, like, were more focused on the searching aspect for the last piece of the puzzle.
Ah.
And so the reason why they totally screwed up that Navy spot was because Will was on one of those ships with the gold. That's what they were looking for. They were looking for the gold, and they were looking for Will, and that's why it was just completely decimated. And that's why it's more of, like, a legendary ship that, like, people hear about in ghost stories, because they don't show up that often, because they gain nothing. Because they don't need to eat anymore. They don't, like they don't need anything.
I see. That makes sense. Now the question
like they
is...
think something's there, or when there's gold in the water.
The question is, what scene from Dead Man's Chest shall I draw now that I've done the sketch for, you know, part of the climax of Curse of the Black Pearl?
Curse of the Black Pearl, okay. Dead Man's Chest. Well, there are a great many options. Oh, we haven't said who Norrington is yet. Norrington is Klaus in this universe.
He sure the frick is.
I just realized I don't think anybody's ever drawn Klaus with his ponytail down.
Oh man, and Norrington, like, it's so funny because Norrington is supposed to look like absolute trash in Dead Man's Chest. But
he's so gorgeous.
Let's be real, he got a little bit of a glow up. Like, it's a grunge glow up, but it's a glow up.
Oh, when you get rid of the white wig, it turns out he's cuter.
Right? Like effing crazy. You know what I could draw? Yeah, I could draw. Ooh. You know how Will and Elizabeth...
I was going to suggest the three-way sword fight. That was going to be my suggestion, since you keep drawing climaxes.
Real quick. This is...
What about the Jack Sparrow face-off with the Kraken? But, you know, the Kraken is the great devourer in this universe.
It's a water snake. No, but, like, you remember how Will and Elizabeth very clearly have this, like, ruined wedding at the beginning of the movie?
Ooh, you want to do that?
Yeah, but you know how, like, we've switched characters around and we've given storylines to different people?
Yes.
What if instead of Will and Elizabeth's ruined wedding as, like, the ruined wedding between eventual Davy Jones and his love, it's ruined wedding between eventual Pirate King and her guy?
Oh, right.
Yeah. Right?
He stays behind. It's just like, sorry, Moo, I can't be your best mate anymore.
Oh, it's the best shit ever. Just like, you know, he helps free Wu from that execution right at the end of Black Pearl, and Wu's like about to jump onto the ship, and he just takes a step back off and stays on the dock.
He stays on the ledge, remember?
Oh, right, the ledge. God damn it. I literally watched these 2 days ago. That's what I get for drawing while watching these movies. But, like, he just stays. And there's, like, this conversation. But it's not a conversation. It's just a look.
Aww. Yeah, Jen wouldn't want to wreck Skylar's wedding. then that's how that is how Kai and Lloyd can get on the adventure to go save Nia.
Right.
And Jake too. Gotta have a trio.
Hell yes. This is gonna be so good.
Be great. You kidding me?
I'm already having so much fun. Plus, like, sword fights and fantastic outfits. What more could you ask for?
I know. Of course, there is the other scene you could do for Dead Man's Chest.
I feel like I accidentally just showed a spoiler, so my bad.
I'm gonna hang up for a little bit.
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I'm getting a call.
See ya.
From my dad.
Alright, let me go ahead and turn that off real quick because Discord always throws a fit if you leave the line connected for too long. And we're gonna turn on some music. I did have to switch back to Left the Lord Decide playlist, at least for the time being, simply because I got copyright claimed last week, and you're never gonna believe by who. It was definitely because of the pirate whip that played as a prominent part of last week, which I think is just effing hilarious. So I'm going to turn on some music until Mel gets back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to find a fun screenshot and we're going to draw that shit. Yes, that is the song that we're listening to. Setting multiple characters in a picture. Let's see. So when setting multiple characters in a picture, there's not really a shortcut way to think about it, other than, you know, a lot of times whenever I draw stuff for our AUs, what I'm actually working with is a script from Mal. So let's do a little surprise for her. Let's see if I have any scripts from her that I can work with. Yeah, let's do a Soul Eater one. I see. Headed into town. Papa was a good one, more to shine. Papa was a good one, but the jealous kind. Papa loved Mama and Mama loved man. Mama's in the graveyard, Papa's in the pen. Let me see. Alright, we're going to draw the tail end of a Soul Eater scene. I'm drawing this with the background completely from memory. So y'all cut me some slack, alright? So first thing that I would recommend is to draw out a facsimile, just a basic sketch of what your background ought to look like. This particular scene is set in an underground space with lots of pillars holding up as support. So we're going to draw those basic things. And what we are going to divide this into is going to be 3 layers. Our first part is going to be our foreground, which is going to be this pillar right here, foreground. Our midground, which is going to be the actual floor area here. And then our background is going to be these pillars in the back and the wall, okay? And for the most part, we're going to ignore the background. We're not doing anything there. That's a big step for me personally, is to make sure I know foreground, middle ground, background, okay? The next step that we're going to do is we're going to start putting our characters in here. And so according to our script, we've got 4 characters, and we're going to be focusing on one. In this case, it's going to be Cole. He's going to be the one who's here in focus. The tricky part is we actually want to focus on what he's focusing on. So he's going to be over here leaning against the pillar in our foreground. So he's going to be the one who's right here. And his back's going to be to us because we're not actually focusing on him. So we've got Cole right here, and he's in our foreground bit, so he's going to be up close by the camera. Now, he's going to be looking at our midground, and that's going to be where we draw the rest of our characters. I'm sure that all my love's for you. Alright, so according to our script, what we have in the middle ground is Nia, Lloyd, and Kai, kind of on a little pile. So I've had references, I've referenced like actual real life stuff that I've been a part of, reference pictures, reference scenes of movies that you really enjoy. And do this one at a time. I say one at a time. Do this just a little bit at a time in places where you can. So one of the things about this particular AU is we know that Lloyd's smaller than Nia, smaller than pretty much anyone on here. And we're gonna actually come down here. We're gonna change all of this to black so that it is now easier to fade away and now easier to concentrate on what it is that we're drawing now. Oh, sounds like Mel's back. Hello, Mel. Are you back on?
I am back on.
Sweet. We're going through a little thing about how to place characters in a scene, which means that we're drawing a Soul Eater scene right now.
Ooh, I know what scene this is.
See, guys? That's what I want to hear. So yes, she knows the scene this is. And I was explaining to them that a lot of times whenever I do these things, I am working with a script from you. And so right now I know this looks kind of like just a little tangle of limbs. And we're going to hash that out a little bit, make it easier to see here in a minute. But the main thing is that we isolated our foreground here with Cole. We isolated our middle ground with these three right here. Now the really cool thing that what we've done here, we're gonna go in depth and look at this a little bit with some movie eyes. There are some things that like they will teach you in fundamentals of art, fundamentals of design that ring true for movies too. One of those big things is rule of thirds, which we've actually done with this. So rule of thirds basically says that instead of split in half or split into quarters, a picture that is split into thirds is more interesting to look at. It's the basic gist of it. So what we've done here is we've split our thing into thirds. Forgive me if that's not, exact, but we split our thing into thirds, and then we split our thing into thirds again. So if we split our stuff into thirds horizontally and vertically, what we come into is this realization that Cole is over here in this third of the area, while Nia, Lloyd, and Kai are over here in this middle third here. Our first instinct is to look at Cole here in the foreground and then to follow where he's looking, where these three are over here. And these guys, Cole's head lines up with that top third line. These guys line up with that bottom third line. And so it's really nice and design-wise very pretty to look at. And I definitely ripped this off of the actual Soul Eater scene, so I can't take credit for that. But it is worth telling you guys about because it's an interesting thing and shows you how and why these things are set up the way that they are. So Cole over here first third, these guys in this bottom part. We look at Cole first. He's in the foreground. He's the character that's actually speaking during this moment. and he's looking at these guys, which is where we want our audience eyes to look. So if you consider these things whenever it comes to placing characters in a drawing, it ends up being a really interesting drawing to look at, and it ends up being a fun drawing to look at. We don't even realize these things, but this is how political cartoons work, this is how movies work, this is how cartoons work, all of it. It's all about arranging things so that the audience's eye goes where you want it to go. And for Western audiences and Western languages, we look at things from top to bottom, left to right, okay? And so that's what we do. We started up here in the top left with Cole's head. We moved downward and to the right to see these three. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we are going to line these guys a little bit better. We're going to give them a little bit more of a defined shape. We're going to define actual weight to their poses and all that good mess. Which is all stuff that I do on a regular basis with my stuff. It's just we're going a little bit more step by step with this one. So we're going to do Cole first because, again, he's in our foreground. He's the easier character to do. And he's just standing up. He's not doing anything real special. Another thing that really helps is to recognize your character's body language. You know, it's... Oh, I almost forgot that everybody's supposed to be in nice clothes for this. Oh, wait, no, they changed whenever they went downstairs. Never mind. Pebbles wants back in. Of course she does. Hold on. If you're gonna come in, you need to go lay down. Go to bed. Go lay down. Let me see this. So, anyway, back to what I was saying with these guys. Knowing how your characters act in a situation or knowing how they hold themselves can help with arranging them. In this particular situation, this is a big moment for Nia, Kai, and Lloyd. And Cole, God bless him, actually has some emotional maturity. And so he kind of stays back from this. Now, Mel, how do you think Cole should dress?
The Soul Eater?
Yeah.
He's not, like, exactly like Soul.
No, he's really not. Yeah, no, he's really not. I mean, you look at him from, like, the movie, and anytime that he's not wearing a gi, which is 1 in a million, he's in a tank top and shorts.
Well, see, this is a thing that I think the, like, Soul Eater kind of dropped the ball on, in my opinion, with this whole arc, is that it starts after, like, in the middle of a party, when you see all the characters in, like, nice outfits and whatnot, but, like, they somehow change into their normal outfits.
See, I like the way you think.
Fight. And I'm just sitting there like, why couldn't you have them fighting in tuxes?
See, I like the way you think.
Like, that would be so cool.
Because now I get to put Cole in a collared shirt and a tie. Like, God bless.
That's what I'm saying. And you get to put Nia in a dress.
And I get to put Nia in formal clothes. See, I don't understand. I do understand. I don't understand everyone's hang up with putting Nia in dresses, because clearly she still wears them if it's her choice. The whole hang up with Natakan's dress was that wasn't her choice. That's always been her hang up, is she making this choice?
Her extra sleeves.
God bless Cole's shirt, because it's hanging on for dear life.
I know. He's just like, I want to get this off so badly. I need exposed arms.
Cole sleeves are for the weak, Brookstone.
But yeah, thanks for fulfilling my one wish to have all of the characters from the party actually dress up in party clothes.
Look, man, I think we all really enjoyed seeing everyone in their formal wear. And it's really good stuff.
I think Dr. Stein was in his normal clothes because, I mean, of course he was.
Yeah, well, Dr. Stein don't give a, you know?
Would Garmadon not give a fuck to care? Or would Garmadon not care, though?
See, I think with the way that we've written him, he wouldn't really care about anything. Because, like,
true.
Let's be real, we've given this man depression.
Bad depression, like, not even, like, oh, God.
We've given him some bad depression.
And when you lose everything you cared about in one night, it kind of changes in the man.
Yeah, it does. Can I draw live action? Oh, hell. Short answer. Short answer. I can draw photorealism. I've done photorealism before. I can do it again, but I greatly dislike it. I'm using a Huion Canvas 20 Pro, I believe. With Clip Studio Paint. Yeah, I can do photorealism. I greatly dislike it. I am a weeaboo at heart.
Sorry, random tangent. I was looking up Norrington gifs on Tumblr.
Mm-hmm.
This one thing in Dead Man's Chest that is making me laugh so hard.
What?
Jack, you look bloody awful. What are you doing here? Norrington, you hired me. I can't help it if your standards are lax. I miss sassy Norrington so much.
He really, like, I know I keep coming back to it, like, yes, he looks like crap in the second movie, but he got himself a grunge glow up, and I stand by that.
Once the mud got washed out of his hair, it was fine.
Yeah, you take a man out of the pig pen, give him some quality rum instead, make him, use a little salt water to wash out that grunge.
It's fine, it's perfect. I remember when I was a kid, though, I didn't even recognize that it was him. Oh,
yeah, me too. I'm sitting here watching these movies, and I'm like, God, kid me did not recognize you worth a damn.
Even in the bar fight, I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah, why are they all acting like they know him? Live action isn't just lineless art. Live action live action's got some extra stuff in it. Photorealism is a pain, mostly because of lighting and reflections. Favorite thing to draw? Damn, that's a hard one. Actually, it shouldn't be as much of a hard one. I love drawing AUs. I love drawing the AUs that Mel and I come up with because, hey, it is awesome to talk with another creative person and just get into this bouncy, oh, but what if this? Oh, but what if that? Oh my God, you effing genius. Like, the whole creation of AUs is just some good shit. And again, especially with someone who just you click with, because Mel and I just click and it's great. And I'm so happy that she messaged me about that random AU last year.
Oh, but of course. gotta write that for the stranger AU.
Isn't that the story of our lives? Just, oh, right, that AU exists.
Right, the thing that was the catalyst for our relationship. I still haven't written it yet.
It's okay. I am horrible at juggling projects, especially because school's a thing that exists, and school has demands, and life has demands, and then my brain has other demands, and it's just like, but what if this was met first? And I'm just like, brain, no.
Oh my god, best hashtag in this tag, garbage is the new pirate. I had to share that. I know we're talking about AUs and stuff. It's just, I had to.
I just can't wait until people can see more of the stuff for this particular one, this particular AU. Because let's be real, pretty much everyone has been through the ringer because of this AU. I think the only one that's not a little bit effed up in some way is Jay. No, Cole, because Jay's parents are having some issues, so he's having some issues. But Cole's over here just I had my family issues, prior to all of this.
I'm fine.
I'm cool.
Scandalous.
I love Soul Eater so much. It's a good anime.
Yeah, it's a great one.
It's definitely one that I've gone back and rewatched. My literal only complaint about it, and I don't know how good or bad the manga is with this, is I really dislike how 90% of Blair's outward appearance and behavior is just for fan service cutaways.
It's way worse than the manga. It's way worse.
I believe it, and it's a great frustration to me because otherwise it's just such a good show. When we write the story, we actually do have a Soul Eater blog for the Soul Eater portions of this, and we are reviving that. The blog was intended as kind of an ask blog, and I don't think I was super crystal clear about that with the posts on it. But we are reviving it. We are starting to answer more stuff on there, creating more scenes for it. It just takes some time, like anything does. And the other hard part is that Mel and I are both in school. That will be changing soon. We are both graduating, I guess, officially this summer. I'll get to walk. My college has tentatively rescheduled graduation for August of this year. I go to a very small school, and so it's a lot easier to reschedule something like that than something like Texas Tech's graduation, because Texas Tech is effing huge. But yeah, hopefully that will change. The other part is that at least from my short experience living a semi-adult life in DC, day-to-day work is so much less demanding than school. It was so nice just doing my internship in DC. I miss you, Comunidad. They were so nice to me there. Heads up, anybody, if you get the opportunity to work with Comunidad and that work lines up with what you want to do in life and what you're wanting to try, please take it. They're amazing. They made sure I had real work and I wasn't doing any coffee runs or anything like that. I got to see stuff that I did pop up on social media, and that was so cool. But yeah, Mel and I both, we have life, we have college, we have all these things. So we do try our best to get these stories out, and we do post them either to the blogs that they belong to or to my Ninja blog. Occasionally, far less often than I should, I will post something to Twitter or to Instagram. but not nearly as often as it happens that like the story snippet in question shows up on on Tumblr. That's the word that I'm looking for, is Tumblr. Aw, thank you.
You know, Rena?
Yes?
This is. Thank you for doing such a good job with this.
It's gonna be so much fun. Just wait.
Big old family reunion.
It's gonna be
Kind
so
of.
good.
Sibling reunion, anyway.
It's what they deserve.
It's what they deserve. Good. I can't wait to get. I know I told this to you yesterday, but I cannot wait for more Harumi.
Gosh. You know, I love a good character like that because she's a fun character to hate once you get, you know, far enough into the storyline of seasons 8 and 9. But man, she's gonna be so much fun in this AU. Like,
it's great.
Like, talk about a love to hate her type character, you know?
Oh yes, definitely. Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
Hell yeah. You know what, Bumblebee? Kudos to you for being able to use the emojis there because, like, I'm a grown person and I still don't know how to use emojis.
I'm still in this tag. Like, I don't doubt Norrington loved Elizabeth Swann. However, he did chase Sparrow through a hurricane.
Yeah, like, homie, might not just be revenge that you're dealing with there. My deepest condolences, because it sounds like you've got some stuff to work through.
Oh my god, Norrington was using his wig as the wash rag. I forgot about that.
Why? When did I erase that? I didn't mean to erase that. There we go.
Poor guy.
So y'all can see that I'm doing a very, 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 very basic background because I hate backgrounds. It's a curse of mine that comes purely from refusing to do further work on them. It's sheer laziness, not gonna lie. I can do backgrounds. I don't have as much experience doing them digitally as I do traditionally. I just like doing them. I should learn how to do them better, because that's a skill, that's a job skill. And, you know, I would like a job where I get to draw for a living. That is the whole point of my going to school and doing what I do. But this is for a Ninjago AU, for a blog on Tumblr. Therefore, I feel no shame. I do absolutely love giving Cole, like, hair shinies. It's the only way. Yeah, it's the only way I know how to describe it. Mostly because, like, I mean, look at that man's hair. He takes pride in his hair.
You are so good at drawing.
Aw, thank you.
I know I'm behind for your sketching, but it kind of looks like one of those, like, crowns that, like, splits in the back. It did. It did.
It did look a little bit like a diadem type thing.
Is that what they're called?
I'm gonna pretend like it is, and like I know different words for things, but you know.
Did you see it?
I did see it briefly.
I need to stop it with this Pirates thing, but oh my god, these posts are killing me.
Don't die, Mel. I still need you to help me with this AU.
I will. It's just like, Sparrow, you disgust me. Ah, so you disgust me.
Poor Norrington, honestly.
I feel so bad for him. Okay, I need to shift gears to Soul Eater. What should we talk about for it?
I don't know. Do you guys have questions about the Soul Eater AU? Are any of you familiar with Soul Eater, like, just as a thing? Definitely didn't do that leg right.
I remember someone was confused about how it worked when we first pitched it back in July. Oh my god.
It's been around for so long. Well, and I think part of the issue too is just that Ninjago is so young, and Soul Eater came out whenever like you and I were at peak get into anime type thing, I want to say.
It came out in 2008, I believe.
Right, so like right before you and I were like peaked to enter into the anime love.
Well, hell yeah, it was perfect timing because they put the whole series on Netflix and that was binged.
Oh, 100%.
Immediately.
And JB, not all of us have the stamina to sit through the entirety of Fairy Tail.
Fairy Tail, where? Wait, what?
JB's favorite anime is Fairy Tail.
Oh, that used to be my favorite.
See? Soul Eater is so good. I want to say it's on US Netflix. Ninjago's my favorite anime too.
I like how this is catching on now. It took 9.5 years, but people are calling Ninjago an anime. We did it, Rena. We did it.
So, Rifted, so the whole Soul Eater thing, the reason it's called Soul Eater is a double meaning. One of the main characters, his name is literally Soul Eater Evans. The other part is that eating souls is a large mechanic of the show.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a, has to do with witchcraft and all of that as far as to why the certain people can transform into weapons. But the core thing is that certain people can turn into weapons, and these weapons are used to battle evil souls and witches who wish to create evil souls. And the whole eating souls part comes from eating souls that have essentially turned rancid and turned into Kishin eggs. And the idea is that a Kishin will destroy the world, drive it into madness and chaos, and it's the job of the Grim Reaper and his weapon wielders, Meisters, to keep that eventuality from happening because of witches. The idea...
Then a Kishin born and they couldn't even kill it. It's
right.
Just sealed underneath the city.
Right. There was originally like an original Kishin, and that was one bad dude. But instead of being able to destroy him, they sealed him beneath the school because that's where you put all of your problems. And Yeah, Wu's the Grim Reaper in our version because he too avoids his problems. Damn it, Wu. Yeah, all in all, it's a...
the Kishin eggs to Oni eggs.
Yeah, because, you know, lore and shit. But the gist of it is that it's a very fun anime, especially if you like action. Studio Bones animated it, and gosh, you know what? I'm half tempted to pull up the first intro because it's just so cool.
It's all animated by one person.
Like, holy crap! I want to be that good. But like, it's got beautiful animation. The story's really fun. There is a manga that it is originally based off of, or like the show's based off of, that has a lot more story to it and has a lot more arcs. The show stops after the first 2 arcs, I believe.
Well, they sort of do their own story with it.
They do?
Yeah, like they pull the first Fullmetal Alchemist adaptation where they take story elements that hadn't been developed yet and develop them into their own thing.
Oh, that's cool.
They also beat the Kishin in a completely different way.
Oh, damn.
In the manga.
And here I thought,
So
no, I don't want to give spoilers because we've got people who haven't watched the show yet here.
No spoilers. It's just
and
Rina, it's a lot less depressing in the anime than it is in the manga.
Well, now I want to go read the manga. But yeah, overall, it's definitely an anime that like I recommend. The only thing I will share or warn, so to speak, is that there is a specific character. Her name's Blair. She shows up in episode 1, and anytime she's on screen turns into like a fan servicey moment, which is really frustrating because the rest of the show is not like that. That first episode I had to watch 2 or 3 times to actually get started on the show. Like, it's just, I would watch it, get fed up, and then go watch something else because like I just could not. I'm not a big fan servicey person. I don't like it. And so it took me like a good 2 or 3 tries to actually watch the show.
Oh no, same. I remember it was summer, and so at that point it was me and my 2 brothers, and so me and the older one, because the older one and I are like just 2 years apart, would pick out random anime on Netflix. Later for an episode, and then Blair happened, and it was like,
turn it off. Yeah, that is the only thing.
We swore off of it, and then we finished what was on there for Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, and it was just like, well, shit, what do we do now?
Yeah, because like,
and then
Soul Eater is so good.
Give Soul Eater another shot, and so that's what we did.
Perlitas, are you trying to go outside again? Why do you keep asking to come in and go out and come in and go out? You're not usually like this.
The Kid and Natsu from Fairy Tail are voiced by the same person. It looks like Rita has another friend who knows actors crazy well.
Well, and like I said, JB loves Fairy Tail. And I tried to watch Fairy Tail, but I got like maybe halfway through the series and life was happening at the time, and I've just never gotten back into it.
Did you at least get through, what was it called, like did you get through the Urza arc, at least?
See, I have no idea because it all blends together in my head.
If you don't, you would know if you got through the Urza arc.
Because, like, the thing is I think I just have low stamina when it comes to certain things. I was able to watch the entirety of Bleach because at the time I was, like, maybe a sophomore or freshman in high school, so I didn't have a bunch going on in life at the time. I tried to watch Fairy Tail as a junior in high school, and crap hit the metaphorical fan in my life around junior year. It really sucked. And so I just didn't have time for a whole lot of stuff. I am a super heathen. I told a professor at the Jesus school that I did witchcraft to solve a calculus problem. I am definitely a heathen. You don't understand. This wasn't just any professor. This was like somebody who's on the board at my college who only teaches a class like every 5 years. And I told him I did witchcraft to solve a math problem.
I mean, don't tell me he took you seriously.
No, but he did advise me that perhaps we should avoid jokes like that in the future.
So not completely cool.
I mean, he laughed, but it was very much a nervous, didn't expect to hear that at the Jesus school. Wow.
Oh, man.
Which, like, he had been teaching me for, like, a solid, month at that point. Like, I don't know why he didn't expect it from me.
If you do ever get, like, really, really bored, like, at least getting through, for Fairy Tale, I think it's advisable. Just, like, it's a lighthearted show, and honest to God, without the fan service, the first, like, there wasn't the fan service in it, like, it would legit be a kid's show, I think.
Well, and see, that's my problem. It doesn't have fan service, like, out the wazoo or anything like that. But there are times where it's just like, buddy. But again, that's me being super picky about fan service. There's some stuff that I'm just like, well, that's dumb. That other people are like, dude, what is your problem? And it's just personal preference,
I've gotten a lot less tolerant of it over the years. I remember I used to be like, whatever, I can watch anything, and now it's just like, I don't think I can watch High School of the Dead anymore. Props to anyone who knows. Actually, no, not props. Guilty pleasure, I'll put it like that, Rena.
I am aware of High School of the Dead, but again, I am just so critical of fan service that I've never even tried.
I think High School of the Dead would break you like 2 minutes in.
Dear God. Alright, you'll give me a minute because Pebbles is losing her mind. Oh, maybe somebody else let her in. Thank God. I love my dog, but she's a pampered little jerk. So like I said, I basically live in a converted garage whenever I'm at home. And the way it is the door that goes to our backyard is from the house to the backyard. But directly across from it is the door to my apartment structure, whatever. So what Pebbles does is if she wants to come in here, she scratches on my door. If she wants to go in the main house, she barks her head off until somebody comes and lets her in. And that's how spoiled she is she has a choice of where she's going to go, lay down and laze around. Lazy dog.
Well, your dog so much.
I love her, but she's a pain in my butt. I love how if I pull up my Tumblr right now, I just have a message from Mel that just says, okay, last one. And all I see is a picture of Norrington.
I told you, I went deep into that tag, and I found a lot. Okay, if you click on the post, though, it's a lot funnier. Trust me.
Oh, I'm sure. And I will take a look at it here in a bit. Whenever I'm not doing all of this. What time is it? It's 4:12.
Will Turner in there for you.
I think I am going to have to hop off soon because I'm having a class meeting today because we've got a guest speaker. Yeah.
Like fun.
Shout out to my professor for trying his darndest to keep everything normal during this time. I have sent him emails at 2 o'clock in the morning right now, and I feel no shame because if my university is going to insist that we continue to do things like normal whenever we really shouldn't be, I am going to make them eat those words. Therefore, emails and assignments now in the morning. Don't be like me, kids. Speaking of fan service, we're now going to stare at Cole's butt for the next 5 minutes while I color it in.
Right, though, JC, it's not a lot at first, anyway. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like, it's just a normal kid show. Like, Fairy Tale, I'd argue, is like the most like a kid's show because no one dies. And it's got this lighthearted tone throughout most of it. That was the main reason I liked it for so long and was really into it.
See, and I think that might be part of my problem too, is my first anime that I ever watched, I want to say, was Full Metal Alchemist 03. I didn't start out with...
That was dumb.
Yeah, I didn't start out with super lighthearted stuff, and so I was just like, oh wow, this is cool, and there was action, and there was morally gray decisions, and yada yada yada, taboo. And I quickly realized that, like, one, not all anime is like that, and two, there are some anime that only take away the bad parts of that, or the unsavory bits. And so it turns into a... And so it was very much a... very much an uninformed, shall we say, look at anime.
Set your expectations too high.
Yeah, I really did. It was just like, wow, this is how this all works. No, it's really not. The other thing is that, like, clearly, from the reaction y'all have seen me have to Ninjago, is I either really, really like something, or I'm just like, about it. Like, there are very, very few, like, shows or whatever that I'm just like, ugh, that's stupid and I hate it. Like, no. We've outgrown that. But I definitely either really enjoy something or I'm indifferent. Man, Full Metal Alchemist just does not play. To anyone...
Oh my god, the first series was like, hi, I know it's 2003 and all, and there's a lot of stuff going on, but we need to do anti-war right now.
I mean, shout out to Full Metal Alchemist just in general for that.
Definitely. It's just... Yeah, you know me, I'm an 03 fangirl. I thought it was crazy, the differences.
Well, and, like, I really enjoyed 03. Do not get me wrong. But man, Brotherhood was just so good. It was so good.
Don't blame anyone for preferring Brotherhood. I've watched Brotherhood first, actually.
Wow, and you watched 03 afterwards?
Yes. What happened was back when my family had DirecTV, I was channel surfing one summer day because I was, like, bored, you know?
Yeah.
And I found this, like, channel, like, way off in the distant 500s that had this, like, 2-hour block of just anime shorts. And I was like, what the heck does that mean? And so I click on it, and it was this show by the name of History's Mightiest Disciple, Kenichi. And I was like, oh my god, there's anime not on Cartoon Network. What? And so then, you DVR it.
Right.
So shows for the first time just because I was waiting for them to air on that. Like there was a loop, you know.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So I watched a bunch of like obscure stuff like Sands of Destruction and Planet of the Beast King. Planet of the Beast King is one of the best shows ever. Just saying.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, shows that was aired was the original Full Metal Alchemist, and I had not seen it before. So I finally, because I was one of those Brotherhood stands that was like, ever, it's the best thing ever. Don't even pay attention to the old show, even though I didn't ever watch the old show.
Oh my gosh.
So I was finally like, fine, I'll give it a shot, and I ended up loving it to pieces.
That's fantastic, honestly. I did things in the traditional order. I watched Full Metal Alchemist 03 first. It was on Netflix at one point, and I watched it all the way through. And I just remember getting really confused towards the end because it is a lot to handle. And I had my now very bad habit of I watch shows while I draw. So I end up missing things, especially if it's only visual cues.
Oh no, there's a lot of just visual cues in that show.
Oh yeah, no, I was so confused. And so I was like, well, that ending kind of, okay. And went about my life. And then I saw, like, I don't know, it wasn't very long after that they put Brotherhood on Netflix. And I was like, oh man, you mean there's a different one? And so I turned it on, and of course that one was animated by Studio Bones, which, you know me and Studio Bones. Love me some Studio Bones. And I was just like, oh, this is gorgeous. So I start watching it, and it was just like, all right, we're going to acknowledge that you've seen some of this stuff, and we don't really animate more than 60 episodes a pop. So we're going to skip some of this stuff, and we're just going to rip your heart out and smash it to tiny little pieces. And I was just like, aye, aye, Captain, and continued to watch. and
That's the problem, is that's the thing that I hold against it the most, is that it expected you to be familiar with the franchise, and I wasn't.
Yeah, it really sucks for somebody who's like...
I series at a camp, and the only thing I knew about it was that the two girls that told me to watch it were like, Envy is the best. And I was just like, okay.
Sure.
Envy.
Okay, out of all the characters to be the best, I guess I can see why Envy would be someone's favorite. But
they told me about both shows. I didn't realize they were talking about both shows at the time. They were like, okay, Envy is like awesome in the first show. It's been so long. They mentioned the differences, I think, because they did talk about both of them, and I was just sitting there like, there's two shows? And that's actually what led to my problem, was because what happened is when I looked up the series, I watched the first episode of the first show first.
Uh-huh.
And then I took a break. And then, like I exited out of the thing on my computer, and when I came back to it, I accidentally hit Brotherhood, and so I watched episode 2 of that, and I was like, this looks a little different.
Wow.
And I just kept trucking along, and I was like, well, whatever. And then I remember I kept like flipping back and forth, essentially, for a little bit.
How did you continue to watch that? Weren't you confused?
What happened was once I finished the first 13 episodes of Brotherhood, I started watching it on Netflix with my brother, and then that sort of just fixed it to where I was only going to watch Brotherhood.
Oh my god.
And so it was so funny when in season 3 they have a flashback to the filler first episode that I never watched until years later. I was like, who is this person? Why is Ed flashing back to this guy?
Oh my god.
Because I totally skipped the first episode.
How do you F that up that bad?
I was in junior high.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
Once Ling got introduced, everything was smooth.
Well, and Ling is just such a fun character. And, I'm probably going to get people mad at me for saying this, but I really enjoy Ling a lot more once he and Greed become buddies.
Of course. He, disappears for a season.
How do I color? I color lazily is the short answer. I'm in Clip Studio Paint. What I do is I use the fill-in mono pen, which on its default setting has this really cool thing where no matter how far you zoom in or out, the cursor stays the same. So colors in that much. If we zoom, the line shrinks, which I like because I'm lazy and I don't have to continuously resize my pen. I can just zoom in where I want to go. And the other cool thing is that it fills in without any of those faded lines around the edges. So you can kind of see where on Nia's hair, there's this rough outline of where the pen didn't completely fill in everything. That's not what happens when I use the fill button on the fill in mono pen. It just fills in where it lies. It fills it in solidly. So if we fill in Kai's hair the way we want it to, we're just going to do the outline of it because again, Rena is super lazy. So we fill in Kai's hair the way we want it to, do the edges, get up in here that one last little bit. And then if we grab the fill bucket, see it fills in completely. There's no gaps or weird spaces or anything. And I like that aspect of the mono pen. That's how I color. The other thing is, of course, whenever it comes to color picking and all of that, you have to understand, color over the line art. That's layers. You guys don't see how my layers work. As of right now, I have 10 layers in this thing because anytime I want to do something else, I add another layer. So what I usually do is I set my line art as my top layer whenever I'm coloring, and I put a layer just below it. So what you're actually seeing is me coloring under my line art. So if I were to put that line art layer under our color layer, you see almost all the lines go away because I color really, really lazily. But if we put it back where it belongs, above that layer, boom, our lines are back. And this is something that I don't think you can get in Microsoft Paint. I haven't been on a Windows machine at home in literal years, ever. I haven't worked on a Windows machine on a regular basis in forever. But stuff like, I use Autodesk Sketchbook a lot. That's what I use to draw all of our EOTU comics up until this point. Let me try to find where I hid it. There it is. Sketchbook. Let's open up Sketchbook and let's take a look at this because I can actually show you guys the layers tab without too much effort. So here is our layers tab that popped up on my other screen because technology hates me. So here's our layers tab. So on Autodesk Sketchbook and on anything that uses layers, I don't know anything about Metabang, but the same thing applies with layers. So we've got our layers. What we have is a layer 1. We're going to call this our simple line art layer. We're going to use the paintbrush because I'm feeling lazy today, and that's what we're going to do. and we're going to draw a simple face. Boom, simple face. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add another layer, so layer 2, and we're going to put it below layer 1. What this does is basically put layer 1 on top of it like a light screen, and we're going to color below it, and that's going to make it to where layer 1, it's like working in PowerPoint where you can arrange stuff. So layer 1 is in the front, layer 2 is behind it. Now we can go in and we can color things the way that we want. So we're going to make them a little bigger. We're going to choose a random-ish color for skin, and we're going to go through and we're going to color. And because layer 1 is in front, it doesn't bleed through those lines. This is why, you know, I don't know if you've seen artists on Tumblr or Instagram joking about how many layers they have, but it is 100% why they would joke about that. Because at some point you realize, hey, it's great to just have a million layers and be able to work with that. And at one point, what I would do is I would have a different layer for every single color that I used. I don't do that anymore, but I definitely used to. Because now what we can do is just, you know, now all of my coloring is on one layer and all of my line art is on another. So if I say, you know, oh, I don't actually like the way this hair looks, 1, I can erase that, and 2, I can come back over here with the dream brush and the this, and I can say, you know, I want to add more here. And it's super easy to go in, do that, and erase the lines I don't want without erasing the color underneath it. And that's something that you can carry over between programs. It's how I'm coloring with these guys. And it's just using layers to your advantage. I've been hamstrung by using the free trials of programs and only get like 2 or 3 layers. It's frustrating, but you just work one layer at a time. So you do a sketch layer, do the line layer over that, clear the sketch layer, do coloring on what used to be your sketch, and then you can merge those once you're happy with the way it looks. That's a cheat that I used to use whenever I was using free versions of programs that, you know, it's a really fun program to use unless you want to actually use layers because they limit the amount of layers you're allowed to use. Yeah, using layers make life easier. I'm glad it works. It was something that just I did not ever work out for myself right away, and I didn't ever have the courage or ability to ask someone who actually had done digital artwork before. I had to figure it out by myself, but it's a life-saving tool, and it definitely makes the use of layers a lot easier to see. I haven't ever used Ibis Paint. What I have used is Tyasui Sketches on iPad. I have used Autodesk Sketchbook on iPad and on Mac. And I've used Clip Studio Paint on Mac. I, for a brief moment in high school, before I got fed up with it and stopped using it, did use Microsoft Paint for 2 seconds. in a bout of creativity and frustration when I was in high school. Had a Windows machine that ran, I think, Windows... It might have been on 10 by that point. Dad tries to keep his tech fairly up to date. But I never liked doing stuff on Windows machines. They are perfectly fine machines. They're fantastic for a lot of things that Macs aren't necessarily good for. But I'm a Mac person. Totally forgot to put Lloyd's pants on. Fuck.
Can you hear my claps?
No. Are you clapping at our tutorials, or are you clapping at my forgetting Lloyd's pants? Oh, please, go ahead and post your stuff in the chat. I don't care. I think the only thing that, like, I've said that I don't want in the chat is people outwardly being dismissive or derogatory towards each other, or towards me. That would really suck. But as far as, like, showing each other blogs and showing each other your artwork, I really don't care. I'm not doing this for any type of money. That would be kind of rude of me to say, you know, no, you can't show each other stuff. Like, that would be sucky. The entire reason I'm able to do this is because I get to show people my stuff, you know?
You tell him, girl.
Woot woot. But in all seriousness, I do have to let you guys go at this point. I have a class meeting here in 25 minutes that I need to get to you. Well, JB, unfortunately, you know, not in my server, whatever. Sorry, I'm getting off track. I have to leave, have to stop this stream because I do have stuff to do. I'm very excited about this guest speaker. This professor that I have apparently knows a bunch of people because he has been involved with game design in the past and involved with helping other schools with their game design programs, and he's been a fantastic professor. But all that to say, I gotta go. Thank y'all for joining in today. I hope everything I've said has been helpful, and y'all have a good night.